need that sports encyclopedia. Where you at, Steve Kim? Got Trent in the cut.
What are you?
He's the best.
Yeah.
He's a master motivator.
I'm a master motivator. I ain't no regular ass motivator. I'm a fucking master.
Coaches tried to make practice so hard that the game was less intrusive. Like they coached you that way. Like people think, well, they were just yelling. No, they were trying to put you under stress and put you in under duress so that when you got in the game, you could mentally handle adversity.
If you go through JUCO and you make it out of JUCO, you can make it anywhere.
I respect the hell out of you to see that you're doing what you're doing and still doing what you're doing for real, the way you do it, man. You said from day one you had the same enthusiasm. You keep the same enthusiasm, and it's fucking contagious.
In my opinion, I think Shedeur Sanders is the best deep ball in college football. I don't think
Can you just say something nice about Shedeur Sanders?
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
And I'll proudly stand up next to you all. God bless America.
You said belt to ass, T-Red. You got the belt around you.
Yeah, we're in the building. It is Talk That Talk Tuesday. So talk and I will talk back. Steve Kim will join us later on. We got a loaded lineup today, all week long. Willie Anderson joins us Friday, Hall of Fame left tackle extraordinaire, Bengal extraordinaire. We're going to talk to him Friday. Pac-Man Jones still trying to get him on. He's coming on. I was supposed to go on his show yesterday. I'm supposed to go on his show today now. So Pac-Man's all over the place, just like we all are. So he'll be on as well. We constant communication. So Pac-Man will be on the show this week. We're going to talk about all things Combine, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, everything that he thinks is opposite of what I think. So we'll be arguing on the realest show on planet Earth. So tap that like, subscribe, become a member today, and then head on over to Slap Nation, our new channel for LA Talk, as we're ironing out the kinks on that channel as well. Our new Slap Nation gear is in, the T-shirts as well for all the new members over on Slap Nation's channel. I'll be sending those out. Some went out yesterday, some will go out today. So just to catch you guys up. So let's dive into it. Pound that like, and if you're not a member, become one. We're trying to get up to 1,000 members this spring. We're at about 800, so make sure you become a member. The best $1.99, $2.99, or $5.99 you can buy. Plus, you get the Discord over on the Discord that I was in this past weekend, by the way, talking to all the fine ladies in there. So Smitty goes in there, I go in there, and we'll be in there all spring long. So today is tag day, meaning what? Sam Darnold will not be tagged for $40 million a year. The Vikings clearly are betting on Kevin O'Connell and whoever the quarterback is, because clearly they think having Justin Jefferson is going to get himself the ball. Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, they got him the ball the last few years. Can J.J. McCarthy be the guy that looms in the shadows waiting to be the next? Good arm, good athlete, zero experience, and coming off an injury. Good luck, Vikings fans. I think Sam Darnold needs to be your guy another year. I think you guys think otherwise and don't want to pay a guy $40 million a year. So good luck. The Bengals tag Tee Higgins once again. He has hit social media to put out a cap sign, and his mom has gone to social media as well, calling the Bengals selfish and cheap. As we know, the Bengals have been forever, but Joe Burrow needs Tee Higgins and Jamar Chase in order to knock off the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens in order to get to another Super Bowl. I bet dollars to dimes, though, that Tee Higgins sits out, as Jamar did last year, unless they can make this deal happen. And plus, oh yeah, they need to sign Hendrickson, who led the league in sacks a year ago. But what do I know? Let's dive into it. Our main man, Far East Sider, Naptown legend, Lamar Jackson loving, LeBron hairline having, AR5 defending, and Caitlin Clark jocking. Fox Sports' very own, our main man, Big Smitty, joins us.
Yeah, I couldn't hear my music at first. Here we go. What's going on, homies, man? It's your boy Big Smitty, man. That kind is my city. It's Talk That Talk Tuesday. I got JB with me, Bailey in the background, and of course we got Ruben in the building, Isaiah Place in the building, Boston Richie, Jazzy Jazz from the A. We got Jared, we got the OG Vincent, Jeff Gilbert, D Wizzy, Roth Morrison, and Jonathan Key. It's gonna be a loaded show, y'all. Get ready. I'm ready to argue today. Slept good, well rested, had my water. I'm ready to argue all day for 3 hours straight.
How you know where Jazzy Jazz live?
Because she put Jazzy Jazz A, so I just kind of made up that she's from the A. I'm not sure, though.
A what?
She just put Jazz. I think in her message, she put, what she put? I saw Jazzy Jazz. She put, that's Mona Slab names. No, her name is Jazzy Jazz, then a capital A. So in my head, as I was just rolling through, I just said Jazzy Jazz from the A. I'm not for sure if she's from Atlanta or not.
Does A mean like Jazzy Jazz got ass, or like I'm just throwing it up?
Now, A can stand for a lot of stuff.
Or do you actually know where she live? You been that way? You been over
It'd be like an A-E, like she couldn't fit the E in there, so she just put the A.
Nah, I mean you knew right where she lived. Like I thought you were about to spit out her address. I'm just figuring out if you knew where she lived or anything. But anyway, let's dive into the show. We got a loaded lineup brought to you by BetUS. Make sure you head on over there, use the 150% bonus that we give you using our promo code Coach JB. Plus, you get a welcome bonus and insurance. All things NBA right now, NHL right now are heavy as those two are looming to get their seeding spots in the playoffs as we hit the summer months, man. The NBA is going to come down to June and July. Who's going to be the champ hoisting the trophy? Same with the NHL. Both teams, we got a lot of tight races going on, but one in the NBA, Smitty, real quick, the Lakers are the 2 seed, the OKC Thunder are the 1 seed, and the probable MVP dropped 51 last night to beat the Houston Rockets for the OKC Thunder.
Alexander.
Yeah, can the Lakers beat them at all in 7?
Can yes, but it's gonna be a hell of a battle. I think Lakers have to lean on their size and their strength and their experience from their group. But the OKC team has some tremendous depth. You know what I'm saying? Those young guys, they play hard. Shai Gilgeous is, I think, clearly the best player this year. He's a real dog on that court, super talented. So I think the Lakers can, but that will be their biggest challenge on the West for sure. So I don't know, JB. We'll see. It's interesting, though. I mean, we're at that point now where I've been, watching basketball way more heavier at this point than I was during NFL season. But you can actually see that teams are ramping it up or have ramped it up post All-Stars. They're trying to, solidify their positions in the playoffs or to play in because we're right around the corner from that time. So basketball has actually gotten a little better lately. I'm not gonna lie, just watching and stuff like that. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And I'm just going through some things off the script that Bailey put together because I'm just throwing some shit out there real quick. I know, Smitty, you followed Johnny Damon your whole career. I know you were a young kid. You watched him for Boston Red Sox, all the different great teams. He came out and said that Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame and agrees with Donald Trump. That's just some sports news. I hope, you know what, as selfish as I am, I want him in, but not now. You guys are always doing that shit. You always put them in when they die, man. Always put them in when they die. It's just like a cop out because you're a fucking selfish. You're a coward who can't look at a man in the face in the eyes when you hire or fire them. And especially when you want to suspend somebody or ban them, you want to do it via social media now. And then when they die, you want to say, oh, well, we're going to enter them in the Hall of Fame. It's absolutely a joke, man. That's what society has created with these social media fingers, Twitter fingers, and all these other things. So I want to see him in, of course, but now it's kind of like a moot point, man. I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess for the family's sake and just the legacy from the the young people in the family, and just being able to say, hey, my granddad or my great grandfather is a Hall of Famer. I guess for those purposes, I think it's still important. But to your point, it's like it's a damn shame that we're now having a conversation after he passed away. He just passed away not too long ago, and now y'all want to get him in like that quick. It's like, damn, y'all like could have did that a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, So I don't know.
Yeah.
Baseball, man, is something that I don't be fully understanding. How they get down with some of their decisions, but that's what it is, man.
Yeah, and then last night, and before we get to the rundown and the quote of the day, Bailey, make sure you put this in for my rant later on. I just put it in the private chat. But Smitty, I got to ask you, Kyrie Irving seems to have gone down last night for the Dallas Mavericks after the trade for Luka with AD. AD hasn't really played. They've fallen to 10th in the West. The Mavericks have. The Lakers have moved up to 2nd in the West, right behind OKC. Now Kyrie Irving tried to pull off a Kobe last night and shoot 2 free throws after we don't know what is the damage, the extent of the damage. But right now, today, Dallas clearly has lost that trade. And Smitty, to be honest, they raised the ticket price sales going into next year without Luka. Are the Dallas Mavericks in a bad spot?
You're in a horrible spot, man. First of all, man, T's and P's for Kyrie Irving. The injury did not look good. I'm seeing like different doctors online. I was hoping we could get Dr. Jesse Morris to sneak in. I know he has a busy schedule, but I've seen different doctors online all kind of give their opinion on what it looked like as far as the quad, how it shook before it landed, and then him hyperextending his leg, or saying it's probably, ACL and this, that, and the third. So shout out to Kyrie, man. I hope he's able to have a speedy recovery. But yeah, the Mavs are in a bad spot. I mean, I think they're cooked. Kyrie's out the rest of the season. AD, I think, is supposed to come back, I think, in the next maybe week or two. But at that point, to your point, JB, they're the 10th seed right now. And the West is tight where you go on a 2-game losing streak, and the Suns go on a 2-game winning streak. Now you're the 13th seed now. And now you're not even in the play-in conversation. So I think they're cooked. And they're going to look back at this year and this decision that they made, and this might end up being like the downfall of the Dallas Mavericks for years and years and years to come. This was a horrible decision for them to make, to trade away their young superstar at 25. I don't care if everything they said was true. I don't care if he's out of shape. I don't care if he's eating every single chicken wing known to man. He's 25 years old. He's a multiple-time All-Pro, multiple-time All-Star, and just led your ass to the NBA Finals while he's out of shape. I don't care if he's drinking Budweisers, Bud Lights. You was in the NBA Finals with that. So imagine if he just matures a little bit, help him out with his diet just a little bit. Who knows? Maybe you can win back-to-back championships in a couple of years. But for y'all to give up on him that quick is a shame. And now we'll see what you do. But both your stars seems to be hurt, and this season's gone to shitter. So,
Smitty, over the weekend, Canada, our partners to the north, booed as Pat McAfee, my boy, was calling a wrestling match in Canada, in Toronto or Ontario. Canadians were booing our national anthem. Pat McAfee stood up and told them basically, you guys are horrible, blah, blah, blah. Yesterday on his show, he issued an apology to the Canadians. And then last night, Keith Olbermann, and I got to be real, this is the guy that I used to like watching on ESPN back in the day with Dan Patrick. And when sports was good to watch on ESPN, it was actual real just sports. Now, Keith Olbermann, though, has completely made a left, totally woke, liberal, fucking cancel culture vulture who hides behind saving dogs on his page. Anyway, he has demanded, that's what he does, Smitty. He has demanded, Smitty, that ESPN, he demanded ESPN fire Pat McAfee. Where you at with that?
Well, first of all, I saw the booing. Obviously us as Americans, we we stick together when it comes to other countries and situations coming at us. It's kind of like the Olympics. Like, that's the one time.
And they're in Canada, Smitty. They're
Right.
in Canada.
And they're in Canada. I get it. Being devil's advocate, and I know y'all get mad, we do know why they're booing, though. Like, just because we're gonna sit together because we're Americans, we also know why they're booing. You know, our president was talking about making them the 51st state. So I'm saying, if you're Canadian, you're not going to be fucking happy about that. That's just common sense. And just like it happened to us, if the fucking Canadian president, whatever, was like, yeah, we're gonna make America, like, you know what I mean? Whatever the similar thing is for there, we would be pissed too. So, like, I understand why they're salty. Nevertheless, we're Americans. We got to stick together. That's what it is. Boom, number one. Number two, listen, everybody gonna have their opinion. What you say yesterday, for your contrary to belief? Everybody can have an opinion. That don't mean that, you know, you gotta make yours what I think or whatever. Yeah, like, he can say what he wants as far as he thinks they should do this, think they should do that. McAfee ain't going nowhere unless he want to go. McAfee worth too much money. He's making too much impact for ESPN. Brings in too many views. His show's too big. He does too much just for the. He's arguably, is him or Stephen A. However way you want to slice it and dice it, the biggest in this profession, in this field right now. That just is what it is. So people are gonna say what they want to say. If they disagree with what you did or what you said. And think about McAfee has gotten a lot of backlash since he's really became, I guess, mainstream, because he does it his way. He does it differently. He's not like a by the book guy. He's a guy who was an athlete, created his own. Well, tried to go mainstream at first. They didn't let him in. Created his own path. It blew up. Then they want to bring him in. But now he's like, shit, I got leverage. You know, you should have brought me in when I first tried to get in, and maybe I would have been more buttoned up. But now I got leverage because I don't need y'all. At the end of the day, fire me when you want to. I'll go back to full-time YouTube. I'll probably talk even crazier and wilder. I'll really say what I want, and I'll still be making the same money or even more. So he's in a unique position where he can honestly, he can damn near do what he wants. He called was it Caitlyn? Oh, he called her what, it was a white bitch, and I know he didn't say it like that, but I'm saying when he said that, it's like, oh shit, we ain't never seen a motherfucker say this on a ESPN or a Fox. So my point is, he can kind of do what he wants because he has all the leverage. So he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. And a couple of people I know have been posting some weird shit about Pat lately. I shared it with Bailey, but it was just interesting. Not weird, just interesting that people are having certain takes on Pat out there in the media. And then people I know are like, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, damn. But I got a lot of Canadians in my DMs, by the way. A lot of Canadians watch this show. Shout out to all the Canadians. Is it true that y'all want to come be our 51st state? Because y'all sure tell me that. No, shit, real shit, Smitty. Like, the motherfuckers are like, we want to be the 51st state. That's crazy, huh? I'm telling you, I'm being honest. I mean, Canadians, like, want to come be part of this shit. Like, it's crazy. I'm telling you.
Then why was they booing then? I'm not saying you don't have 5 Canadians in your DM saying that. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But why
they were booing because of the whole meeting with Zelensky. And then Trudeau came out and said, I'm going to back Zelensky. And so you had that crew of Canadians backing Zelensky and booing America because it happened that night. It was that day, and then that night, blah. That was the context to it. Gotcha. I'm just saying. But, you know, it's funny, too, that D. Jones and all these other guys that come in who know nothing. They know nothing. JB talked to 5 Canadians max. How many you talked to? D. Jones? It's funny that y'all motherfuckers know exactly everything I do. You don't get embarrassed for making up bullshit? I'm just asking. Like, you assume more than anybody I know, D. Jones. You assume more than anybody I know, yet you really think that the Jaguars are the team to beat.
Hey, when they come to D. Jones, it always comes back to the Jaguars. Like,
but that's the funny part about it.
Talking about it's back to the Jags.
Like, that's what I don't get. And if Canadians aren't embarrassed about us taking them as the 51st state, why should we be embarrassed about taking them? I don't get it. But anyway, it is what it is, Smitty. Let's dive into the quote of the day, brought to you by BetUS. Head on over there today. Use the promo code CoachJB. Smitty, don't be mad that I took the knife out of my back and used it to cut ties.
Ooh, damn. That was like a rap lyric. Say it one more time.
Yeah. This is just something I always say. Don't be mad that I took the knife out of my back and used it to cut ties.
That's top 20 right there. That's hard. That's hard. That's top 20. That's hard. Chat, let me know right now. Is that top 20? Where would you rank that? That's hard. Think about what he just said.
It's funny how you be like all over the place on my quotes, dog.
No, that was hard, homie. Don't be mad at my own back that you put there and use it to cut ties. I'm cutting ties because you stabbed me in my back when I turned around because I trusted you, homie. So now I pulled that out. I bounced back.
I've done that. Unfortunately, I've had to do that with a few people lately, recently. Not lately, but recently. I would say recent. Last 5 years, I've had to do that.
Lucy said top 10. Ethan said top 5. We got top 12.
Varsity Sports said top 500.
Top 27. Top 20th. You got a lot of good ones, though.
20th.
Yeah.
So that's a guy that's 20th.
Top 95 for sure.
Go back to the 20th. That's a guy that comes in here who can't actually read, write, or enunciate shit. He just comes in and talks shit. This guy, TB Trucking, who's an absolute fucking nobody.
What did he say, JB? He said what?
20th. I mean, you can't make this shit up, homie. TB will blame me, though, for not hiring him.
Oh, damn.
Fucking joke. Anyway, contrary to belief, brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over there. Use the promo code CoachJB as well. Get all your DFS picks on Prize Picks. I just used it the other day and won me a little $40 on a $10 bet. You can get 10 times the wins. You can 10 times it, 2 times it, 3 times it. Go on over to Prize Picks and use the promo code CoachJB. Smitty, when clowns move into a palace, they don't become kings. The palace becomes a circus. Contrary to belief.
God, leave you in your bag. So what you saying is the people within the building determine what the building becomes. It's not the building that makes the people.
Yes, good job. Yeah.
So if me and you walk into a building, what do we turn it into?
Palace.
And then if we leave the building and TBE Trucking walks in there with his people, what does the building turn into?
A D. Jones circus.
Damn. It's crazy as hell, man. Don't cover your face.
When clowns move into a palace, Smitty, people think they become some sort of king because like a P. Diddy who just litters it with baby oil, he thinks that's a palace. No, he turned that into a circus. All these palaces he had in New York and LA and Miami were circuses, homie, at the end of the day, all right? Like, think about it, homie. Think about it.
Leah liked that that back and forth meme you just did. She was laughing, cracking up. So just keep that to your mind, like as a mental note. That was
what?
Leah appreciated the joke that we just did as far as the back and forth. If me and you go into the building, what does it become? She liked that. So keep that joke like top of mind, because if we can try to find a way to continue with jokes like that throughout the show, Leah will like it. Is all I'm saying. I was letting you know that. Like, it's good to give back to our fans, and supporters.
What are you insinuating with that? Like, what could what's the end of that?
You really don't know. You just right now, I just take it one step at a time. Just make her happy, make our fans in general happy. She's just the example we're using right now, and we'll just go from there. We'll see what happens. We have no idea what the end is going to be. We ain't at the end yet.
Leah's an example a lot on this show. I've noticed. I don't know if you noticed that. Have you noticed that?
You know, like now I think about it, we do use her a lot. And I apologize for that, Leah. That wasn't even by just like an accident. Your name just be popping up real big for some reason on my screen. That's weird. Who knows? Shout out to Dresden. $10.
Whole question brought to you by Skybox Sports. If you guys want a ticker right behind me, clicking across my board in your office, in your man cave, you name it, skyboxsports.net. Use my promo code CoachJB, get 10% off today. And you can see these boards on Cam Newton's podcast now. You've noticed. You see that same thing, skyboxsports.net. You can see it on Gilbert Arenas' podcast. Same thing. Go look at his podcast. Skyboxsports.net, the number one ticker game in the business. So go check them out. Use our promo code Coach JB. Smitty, where does Sam Darnold fit best? That's my question. It ain't about is he gonna leave Vikings or not. Where does he fit best is the question. It's specific, Smitty. So don't say he's leaving. We know, we could see he's leaving, but let's talk about the best fit, because I might say the Vikings still, which is not out the business. Let's be clear here. Just because they don't tag him and didn't tag him last night, that does not mean they cannot re-sign him. They are still in negotiations with Sam Darnold. Maybe they they're working on something. Maybe Sam wants to stay there, knowing that's his best opportunity for one more year, and then he could maybe get a bigger bag in a year and a half and go from there. I got to spin on this, Smitty, but go ahead. Where is his best fit today?
Man, I hate to be boring, but I mean, for me, it's hard to say his best fit isn't to stay in Minnesota, because that's where he's had his most success. He just went 14-3. I know we joke a lot about, Sam Darnold and how his last couple games look. Is that the real Sam Darnold? Which version is really him? Regardless of what we believe, 14-3 is 14-3. That's a phenomenal season. And you look at his entire career, he's never had a year that's even sniffed that. So if I'm Sam Darnold, by all means, I want to stay in this system another year. I got a full year under my belt of just understanding the system. Now he should be even more comfortable with it. He has more of a connection with his wideouts. Him and O'Connell seem to have a good dynamic. I just think that the best decision for him, and probably honestly too for the Vikings, is for them both to come to some longer term agreement. Now, when I say long term, it might just be a 3-year deal, 2-3-year deal, whatever, where he gets some good money. Doesn't have to be top of the market, but just somewhere middle of the pack where he's comfortable, he feels good. Because to me, if he wants more money, maybe he could go somewhere else, but it's going to be a situation that's not nearly as good as what he has right now with the Vikings. They have a running game, great offensive mind, solid defense, at least last year. So, they have a lot of materials and stuff that you need to have a good team. You go somewhere like my Colts, as much as I would like to have you there, we're just not built right now to win in a serious way. We might be able to get a wild card or something like that, but we're not built in the way right now to make a serious run. The Vikings could maybe make it to a NFC championship. They have the pieces to the puzzle to do that. We were kind of shocked and surprised a little bit they went out in the wild card last year the way they did. So I think the best fit is to stay here, figure it out, find a deal, and I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I hope he stays put, because I know how important it is for a quarterback coach, and the head coach, play caller, all to be on the same team. Stafford just did it with Sean McVay and the Rams. I don't know why Sam Darnold don't follow suit and stay put for another year. He can get another bag afterwards if he goes out and does something similar. That's just my opinion. You can't go find this anywhere else. He's not going to get it in Vegas. Just a new continuity. I have no continuity in Vegas whatsoever. Yeah, do I know Pete Carroll? Sure. He recruited me in high school. All this whole thing. Sure. That doesn't mean anything when it comes to the weapons, the familiarity, and everything that the system, the verbiage. Now Chip Kelly and Kevin O'Connell and Sean McVay's offense are totally night and day. It's not like he's going from Vikings to the Rams, where the offense was invented by Sean McVay. He's going to a Chip Kelly offense if he were to go to Vegas. If he goes to the Colts, Shane Steichen, good young coach, offensive mind, quarterback guy, but a totally different verbiage, totally different systems. Not Sean McVay, not the Shanahan, not the Green Bay Packers system, which is all kind of the same under the umbrella of Sean McVay. Gruden and all those guys, Andy Reid. And the other guys that are open, Smitty, you got the Giants and the Jets, which I don't believe he wants to go back to New York to the Jets that drafted him, and I don't believe he wants to be a Giant, where his backup, Daniel Jones, came from this past season and stayed in Minnesota. I just think the best fit is staying right here. And I don't see another fit right now. I just don't. And it's unfortunate because he did a lot after being kind of tabbed as a bust and all this shit on 3 different teams with 6 coaches and 5 different coordinators and 4 head coaches. And then he gets some fucking stability and does well and wins 14 games. And now people are shitting on him because we live in a what have you done for me lately business and life. And now the last 2 or 3 games of his season, everyone remembers him for, not the 14 wins. And that's just what professional sports and big-time sports has become and what it is. Results-oriented business. I just hope that the same energy is thrown out there for Aaron Rodgers, who hasn't won in 15 years. I want to make sure it's the same energy for guys like Mike Tomlin and Harbaugh, who haven't won since, 08, 09, 010, 011. I want to make sure it's the same energy when they could use a quarterback in Pittsburgh, and I wouldn't be shocked if Sam Darnold finds his way there if he leaves here. So that is kind of my only other fit, in my opinion, and it would be Pittsburgh because, guess what? Sam Darnold's played in New York, cold weather. Minnesota, cold weather. Minnesota makes sense, and he can play in cold weather. Even though Minnesota was indoors and all that, it doesn't matter. You got to go outside at some point. He understands his cold weather. Pittsburgh makes I think it's a good fit for him if he does leave Minnesota. That's just what I think. I don't think Vegas fits him right now because of the lack of weapons. Sam needs weapons around him just like any quarterback, but is Sam, coming off a high, now he's got to mentally refocus and say, shit, I don't have the weapons I had in Vegas. I don't have a Devontae Adams even. I definitely don't have a Justin Jefferson in the prime of his career. So,
my only pushback, though, do you think the Steelers, they have the weapons or they have enough?
They got a number 1A type of guy. I mean, can they get another guy? Can they get another guy? I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. They got a couple guys. I definitely don't. I don't hate the Steelers at all. At least their defense is going to typically lead the way anyway, to where you wouldn't expect to have to do too much if you're Sam Darnold. My only pushback is that I just wonder how offensive minded or how creative they can be on the offensive side with Sam Darnold. I think a large part of his success is because he was paired with the perfect coach for him in O'Connell, which you kind of alluded to, and you don't get that connection everywhere you go. So, on paper, it sounds good to be on the Steelers. I just question how much that's the system. Having an offensive coordinator, head coach of mind, how much that helps. So we'll see. Jay Uso, 1999, sent us some money. Shout out to you. Said, I think teams will wait for the draft in order to see where Sam Darnold goes. Have a day, fellas, and Fafas.
Fafas.
I
don't know if you know what that means.
It's basically like a bitch, basically.
Means you're gay. So let's dive into
Yeah, who we got next?
I don't know. You run the thing. Smitty, right before we do, though, before all this cookie crumbles, though, you have a Russell Wilson and a Justin Fields issue in Pittsburgh for all this. That means if Sam Darnold were to go there, that means both of those guys are most likely out of Pittsburgh. Number one. We don't know about where either one of those guys go. One may be going to Vegas. One may be going to Indianapolis. One could go to New York Giants or Jets. One could still end up in Vegas. One could stay in Pittsburgh. One could leave Pittsburgh and go to one of those places. All these things have to happen first. And then you got a guy named Aaron Rodgers who can come out west, go to Vegas with Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, or he can stay east and go to New York Giants with Brian Daboll, or he can go with one of his favorite coaches in Mike Tomlin into the Steel City and go to Pittsburgh, which I like as well. So there's a lot of things that have to happen here. And then you have the draft, which I keep telling you guys is the worst QB draft in recent history, if not ever. And I don't believe these older coaches like a Mike Tomlin, Pete Carroll, Brian Daboll are interested at all in this young draft class. I don't believe they are. And I don't believe Brian Daboll has a year in him to sustain getting fired by going with the rookie QB. He has to get a veteran like an Aaron Rodgers. That's why they're heavy on Aaron Rodgers right now today. They have to get a guy like him, a guy like a Russell Wilson or a Justin Fields, which I don't know if they can get over the hump there in Pittsburgh or in New York or in Indianapolis or in Vegas. So you have to get a veteran, in my opinion, and maybe draft for the future, maybe. But I think teams like the Giants, I'm going to keep saying it, teams like Vegas, teams like the Tennessee Titans, the Cleveland Browns, all have too many needs, Smitty, to draft one of these quarterbacks who a lot of people are starting to think is a bad draft class. Not just myself being the hater that I am. We are also, a lot of people out here are thinking this is not a good QB class. And so if that's the case, there's a lot of teams up in the beginning that up in the front of this order that need a lot of pieces, not just a quarterback. So I don't know, but what do I know, Smitty, when I keep saying this is going to be a heavy either trade or free agent QB landing spot for a lot of these teams in the top 10, especially in the top 6, in my opinion. So if the top 6 guys, with the Deshaun Watson being out for a year, needs to plug and play a guy to fill in for a year, then you should have just kept Jameis Winston. So all these different things are going to fold here, and today could be the day when it comes to Sam Darnold not being tagged where the dominoes start to fall. Sam Darnold may be the first and the biggest domino when he doesn't re-sign today. We'll see what happens. Free agency starts in 8 days, March 12th, and then the draft is right after that, Smitty. So lots to unfold here.
Yes, it is, man. We shall see, man. But in other news, another player been talking about contract extensions, got the franchise tag. The Bengals placed a $26.2 million franchise tag on wide receiver Tee Higgins. This marks the 2nd straight year that the Bengals have used their franchise tag on Higgins. Tee Higgins is, still waiting for his big payday. He was eligible for an extension after year 3. No deal. Finished year 4, franchise tag, and played a year on the tag. And already, now he's tagged again. Man. I think this is just bad business by the Bengals, man. The guy has been proven year in and year out to be really a 1B receiver just because Jamar Chase is so dominant. But to me, Tee Higgins is a 1 anywhere else. Joe Burrow has voiced out loud that he wants Tee Higgins there. So, your quarterback who you're paying and investing all this money into is telling you that this is one of his primary weapons and he wants to stay there. And these guys are still playing with their food, so to speak. And the Bengals have been probably the cheapest organization in the NFL for quite some time. I mean, I talked to, former Bengals as well, and they said it's been this way since early 2000s. Back in the days, they wouldn't pay guys. And even when it comes down to little things, when like the facility and the food they eat and all the little nuanced details that you don't think about, the Bengals have always been on the cheaper side, from the beginning. That's just stemming from their owner. But I'm hoping that they're just franchise tagging them for now, just to secure them. But they'll still continue to negotiate and discuss and try to figure out a longer term deal because they don't want to piss off Joe Burrow. And listen, I'm not saying a man would leave, but I mean, if I'm Joe, you take away one of my important weapons. You played around with Jamar Chase. Jamar should have got paid last year. He had to sit out, decide to come back and have an amazing year, the best year of his career. Now they got to super pay him. They ain't paid him yet. So it's like, all right, my O-line's been shitty forever. The defense was horrible this year. You expect me to go out here and keep putting my body on line and my legacy on the line by trying to scratch and claw and drag the team into the playoffs every single year, but you're not doing your job as the front office by securing the guys that I need and even bringing me in even more talent. So with all that being said, I don't think Joe would want to leave or go somewhere else, but a man can only take so much. And at some point, if they keep doing wrong, I wouldn't be shocked if Joey B is like, man, let me go find some greener pasture somewhere else.
Yeah, I think it's a horrible take. Man the fuck up. Let me be honest here and give you real statistical data here.
Okay,
He's making $26 million. $26 million puts him at 7th in the NFL in wide receiver pay. Are you really fucking going to sit here and cry for this motherfucker and feel bad for this fucking prima donna?
I'm counting his pockets on me.
$26 million, homie. He just got paid the 7th highest in the NFL at wide receiver. And we're going to cry for him? Cry me a fucking river, homie. Guess what's going to happen, Smitty? Just so we can give you a little fucking futuristic look here. Jamar Chase is going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history in about 2 months. So he will be over Justin Jefferson, who's the highest paid right now, making $30 million. And you're going to get, or $35 million, sorry. CeeDee Lamb second at $30 million. And then it goes down to Amon St. Brown all the way to Ayuk, who didn't even fucking play it down last year, basically, who's making 30 as well. So you're at 26 million, Smitty. Top 10, 7th already as a tag guy. To me, it sounds like Tee Higgins had a conversation with his motherfucking self and Joe Burrow and said, you know what? I think I'm cool at 26 million, not having the pressure of actually being 1A. I can be 1B with Jamar Chase, make 26 million, and be with Joe Burrow, because I'm not going to find a better ball spinner unless I go to the fucking Rams. So other than that, sounds like a fucking pretty good deal. So cry me a river, $26 million fucking franchise tag. You can talk about all the shit we want to talk about, but really, are you sitting here crying to me, people, that he's deserving of Jamar Chase money or the same pay as Jamar Chase?
No, we not. No, we not. We're not saying he's the number one wide receiver. But you don't continue to franchise tag someone. No, when you go out there and you prove yourself,
it's the best move.
He has made. No, it ain't the best move, homie.
You can't pay him, Smitty.
He put himself in position where he deserves to get a long-term deal. When you keep franchise somebody,
that's not gonna happen, homie.
Year thing. There's no commitment. He wants a long-term deal. And put him in the same breath, same conversations like the Brennan Ayuk, Amon St. Brown, that 30 to 32 million. Yes, they can. I'm tired of these $1 billion organizations saying they can't. They can figure it the fuck out. They can move people around, do what they gotta do. They can figure it out. They always do, homie. Stop.
Now I know why. That's what's wrong with y'all generation. This motherfucker just want, don't want to give.
He's did it. He's proven. What do you want him to do? He's been a top 10 guy for years.
Do you want to win or not?
They ain't won even with him being on the cheap. So don't give me that, homie. Don't give me that, homie. He was cheap last year.
I didn't hear you on this motherfucker crying for Deebo Samuel and Ayuk, homie. I didn't hear you crying for them motherfuckers when they bitched out and left. Deebo just
what are you talking about?
Deebo just demanded a trade, homie. Deebo Samuel demanded a trade because their quarterback's about to get the bag. So guess who gets the bag in Cincy? A better quarterback, Joe Burrow. You can't pay everybody, Smitty, and pay my defensive end Hendrickson, who led the league in sacks. So guess what?
Going to get paid because Debo is not the same no more.
Now it's always an excuse.
Tee Higgins, context matters. Don't just throw something weak out there.
Tee Higgins can't get the same money.
Context. Debo ain't Tee Higgins. Debo ain't Tee Higgins. Let me ask you this: so if Ayuk's getting paid $30 million, you think Ayuk should be getting paid more than Tee Higgins?
No.
Okay then, homie. And
Ayuk's not number one. So he's Smitty, this is not how business works, Smitty. We can go down the league, Smitty.
Like,
I know you're not going to be that ignorant of a take. I know you're not going to walk around. We can go down the whole league then. Let's go down the whole league and say, should Matthew Stafford be 16th highest paid quarterback? No. We can do that all the way down the league, Smitty. That's not how it works, though, in business, homie.
Stafford's only got paid fucking twice, 3 times probably even at this point.
It don't matter.
He has never gotten paid since his rookie deal.
Is he not the 16th highest paid quarterback?
What I'm trying to say. He had a rookie.
Is he not the 16th highest paid quarterback?
They're franchising him again. Franchises means that I'm going to be somewhere within the average of the top 5 in my position group. And of course, that's good money, but there's a reason why the top guys don't like that. They want long-term deal because there's more money to be paid. There's millions and millions left on the table when you do that. And he's earned it. This ain't some rookie that's just playing around. Tee Higgins is a dog, bro. What are you talking about? You're so much on the side of the coaches because you're biased that you forgot you were a player. And now when you have guys like Tee Higgins who's actually earned this, balled out, been there for his teammates, quarterback loves him, everybody loves him in Cincy, you still say, oh, cry me a river. Because you know why? Because we broke. So when we look at $26.7 million, it's like, oh, I'm gonna feel bad for you. It ain't about feeling bad for him, homie. It's about being doing good business by your players. When your players earn the money, pay them. Because when you don't do this, and when you treat your players like this, other players around who will become free agents next season or year after that, they looking like, damn, homie, the Bengals don't treat even their stars right. Jamar Chase had just had a triple crown. They still ain't paid him. Tee Higgins been a top-tier receiver in the league. They franchise had him again. I ain't going there. And that's why you are a losing organization year in and year out, and you ain't never won shit because you're cheap. I'm looking
at the same link you looked at. This guy's already made $32 million playing wide receiver, homie. Why are you crying for this motherfucker? Why are you acting like he's never been paid and he's broke?
I didn't say he's broke. Ain't nobody in the NFL broke.
Defending this motherfucker.
Nobody's broke in the NFL, Jason. Nobody's broke in the NFL.
You're the epitome of player empowerment. You're the epitome of player empowerment. What you're sitting here saying is talking out both sides of your mouth. You either say that you can have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Tee Higgins, or you say no, you can't, homie. You're literally not understanding the cap then. So I don't think you understand their cap space either. I don't know if you've looked at it, Smitty. I'm just being honest.
There's always a way. It's what I'm trying to explain to you. Whether you got to drop a player, whether you can't re-sign Henderson, whether you got to go young, there's always ways where they can maneuver and figure it out. It's not impossible. Is all I'm trying to tell you. Don't let them.
All I'm telling you is right now they've tagged him. It's not like he hasn't been paid. He's been a top 7 paid wide receiver in the last 3 years. So that's just fact.
I'm looking at he's number 11 on my board.
There's no lies. It's a fact, right? He's been paid 32.
Number 11 on my board.
He's been 30. He's
I think the contract. Can you put that up there, please? The link I sent you in the private chat. He's number 11 on my board. I don't know where you keep seeing 7 at. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Smitty, are you looking at total or year?
I'm looking at where he's ranked.
Total overall or year?
Both. Look at it. Both.
26 million. Just look at the top.
Either way.
Okay, but he's $9 million below the top paying guy. $9 million.
That matters, homie.
35 million is number one. So you think Tee Higgins is a number one in the league?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying he should be 36 million. But he should be in the room of Jalen Waddle, Brandon Ayuk in that room. I guarantee you, if they came by and they offered him 30 million, I bet he would sign. If they gave him in 30, 31 million, I bet you would sign. 30, 31 million for 4 years.
Are you reading this? Are you reading this?
Yes, I'm reading this, homie. That's how it works, though. Even when Jamar Chase passes Justin Jefferson, he ain't gonna be 10 million in front of him. Nah, it might be 2 million. But that's how you reset the market. So to you, it don't matter. To you, it's crazy. It's 3 million. That matters to these guys. Number one, number two, he wants a long-term deal, not these short one. He wants a 4 or 5 year deal to where he's secured. He knows he's good. He ain't got to worry about it. I'm making 30 million a year for 5 years. I'm good.
That will come, but here's the problem.
Win, hold on, win, homie. You tell me why are we? When is it gonna come?
Smitty, then ask for a trade, homie, because you don't want to win. You can't get both. You cannot pay both guys, homie, in the top 2 guys in the NFL. You're not gonna have the 2 highest paid wideouts on the same team, homie.
Go back real quick, baby. I'm sorry, baby. Real quick.
It's not that hard to grasp.
Put that back up. Let me see. We got. We got Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. So I'm trying to look at numbers. I'm looking at numbers.
Waddle. You mentioned Waddle. Waddle makes $28 million. Tee Higgins is at $26 million. Guess what, homie? pretty fucking good to be with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and stay there and maybe get a big deal in next year when they can reorganize the cap. By the way, the cap
Waddle got paid last summer? The market changed every time. So if Waddle got a $28 million deal, was it last summer? Then I should be getting fucking $30 million this summer. Then that's my point. I don't think you understand how this shit works, homie. The shit don't stay the same. The shit don't stay the same, homie.
Let me ask you, homie. Do you really think they're going to pay Jamar Chase #1 money and Tee Higgins #2 money?
Why you said number 2? I said $30 million. That's not number 2.
You're saying put him above Waddle, homie. So you're telling me they're going to have 2 of the top 5 wideouts in the NFL on one team with Joe Burrow and Hendrickson? No, it don't work that way.
I didn't say Henderson. I don't know. I don't give you the one keeps bringing up Henderson. I'm telling you, there's a way. As an organization, you figure it the fuck out. You figure it out. You act like this is the first time anything like this has ever been done. No, it ain't, homie. Guys have had two top guys in a position group before and get paid, and they figured it out. They can figure it out.
Listen, is he getting paid more than they did last year? Bottom line, this new tag deal is paying him more than last year. He got a bump in pay. The market is going that way. So, like, you're asking for us to feel sorry for a dude making $26 million.
Sorry for no NFL player, homie. I'm saying this is not good. You was agreeing to this the other day. I thought maybe I checked my group chat or something. Like, I feel like I could have sworn we was on the same page with this, and maybe I had a bad dream and I got told something wrong. This is not how you do business as an organization. You don't franchise tag your star player back to back to back and expect them to just sit there and be happy. Because franchise.
He's not that star player. You keep misspeaking, homie. You keep misspeaking.
He's not the #1 guy in the top.
He's one of the key players, homie. You keep putting your foot in your mouth, homie. He's not a star player.
He's not Jamar Chase. Burrow wants him.
But he's not Jamar Chase.
Why do Burrow want him so bad then? Let me ask you that.
Because he's a #2. He's a good #2. What do you mean? What do you mean? Why? What do you mean? Why does Stafford want Nakua and Devontae Adams? What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean, homie? Are you serious? Well, you act like the quarterback say, "Oh, I only need one wideout. Everybody else you can go." Like, what do you mean? Why does he want him, homie? He's not going to get Jamar Chase money. By the way, if you haven't looked and realized,
stop, JB, you gotta stop doing that shit. I never said that.
But listen, can I finish? I'm trying to make a point here. I'm trying to make a point here. He's not going to get Jamar Chase money. And it's not what you're saying. I'm just telling you, he's not going to get Jamar Chase money. And they have the worst defense in the NFL, Smitty. This is an organization that's trying to win. The head coach wants to get back to a Super Bowl. They want to get Joe Burrow wants to be pleased by having 2 big-time #1 A and B receivers. And guess what? They got to fucking re-sign the best pass rusher sack-wise in the NFL. So if I'm supposed to do all that with a cap that has gone up and the Bengals have 0 cap space, they got to do some things. They have to tag this motherfucker one time. And guess what? I know it's twice, but they're going to tag him, right? Next year, they're going to have some difference in cap, and they'll say, listen, this is a 5-year deal we're going to give you. But they can't do it this year, is my point.
They did the same thing last year. They did the same thing last year. I know, but JB, you do realize what you're saying now. Next year, they did the same thing last year. They said, all right, we're going to tag you this year. Next year, 5-year deal. And that, listen, now we're at next year. Now we'll tag you again. But next year, we'll get.
Cry me a river. Cry me a motherfucking river.
All they're going to do is wait till. And then what happens? Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Tee Higgins gets hurt this year. Oh, sorry.
Smitty, cry me a river. What do you want me to do? The business.
Hey, come on, man. I'm not moving, fool. Hey, sit out, Tee Higgins. Put it like that. If they don't want to give you no deal, sit out, homie.
This is why you have a micro mentality. This is loser mentality.
No, it ain't.
And this is what happens. So Tom Brady, he can sacrifice and give up all his cheese for a better team. But Tee Higgins can't do it. Tee Higgins can't do it. Joe Burrow can't do it, right?
Make so much damn money. He ain't sacrifice nothing. Stop. Rich as hell. You better stop playing.
You got to go. Don't talk
about no quarterback to no damn.
Don't talk about what Tom Brady is now. Talk about when he sacrificed, homie. He's 3 years in the league.
He's rich as hell then too. He was married to somebody who was rich as hell
making $26 million in 2001, homie. He wasn't making $26 million,
homie.
You sound like a micro thinker. Let's dive into it. All right. Well, we got what's happening now, Smitty. Before we take a commercial break, and Whew, I hope you disagree. Fuck it. Goddamn, we got to figure out where to put it, man, because I can't even find it. Smitty, 45 Democratic senators voted no yesterday on protecting women and girls sports. Once again, I don't understand it. So basically, they went against the order to get males out of female sports, which I didn't know was I didn't know it was like a scientific discovery that we just figured out men are more dominant than women in physical activity. I didn't know that was breaking news, but apparently these 45 Democratic senators voted no. I just want to show a few things to give you some context in this. Can we show the video of a certain few things that's happened here? By the way, this is a women's basketball game in high school, but that big, tall freakazoid right there is not a woman. It's a man who injured this young lady in a high school basketball game by tossing her to the ground. Here in California, triple jump champion in CIF won by an 8-foot margin. Smitty and I discussed this a week ago. And all this is happening, and then there's people out here defending this decision, which just blows my mind. I don't believe you need to be right or left, Smitty, in this thing. I don't believe you do. I believe you just have to be normal. Like, understand that, our daughters don't deserve this. And when I see women out here actually saying and using the excuse, well, there's less than 10 transgenders competing in high school in California. There shouldn't be one, homie. Why is less than 10 mean, oh, it's okay, the 45 Democrats can vote for this? 45, Smitty, is a telltale sign right here. And then when I look at the states, it's a telltale sign as well. I don't get it. It's disgusting to me. I get why Marcellus Wiley and his wife are going out and protesting it today. It's just nasty, man. I thought we were through with this shit. I just thought it was over with. And it's not because of our sitting president right now and who it was. It's just normalcy. I thought this shit was past us. I just can't understand it. I can't grasp it. It's demonic. It's absolutely asinine to sit here and think that men deserve to be or should be playing sports with women. Smitty, I know you don't even agree with this. I don't know what your take is on this one particularly, but this is a sad day when we continue to vote this way and put our women and ladies in harm's way. And I'm the one that always is, oh, you're the woman hater. No, I'm actually defending women because this is a joke. And men should not be in their space, period. I don't know, Smitty. It's kind of fucking disgusting to me.
Yeah, I mean, my take hasn't changed on this. I mean, I've been kind of on the same side on this from the beginning. Like you said, this ain't got nothing to do for, at least for me, when on some right or left or who you voting for. It's just, to me, like some common sense stuff. Like, there's a reason why we have a women's league and a men's league. There's a WNBA, there's an NBA, there's a women's tennis, there's men's tennis. Like, we've always been that way, and we didn't just do that for shits and giggles. We did it because there were actual physical advantages on one side compared to the other side. We want to make it fair for both sides. Period. To me, like, that's the most simplest thing. I don't really know what's the arguments about. I've seen people who defend like that other side and say, well, people who transition, they get different, like, I don't know, hormone changes to make them to lower them their testosterone levels to a point in which now they lose the physical advantage to where they're now the same as a woman. Listen, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, so I can't push back or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you were born a man, you're going to have some sort of physical advantage. So I don't care what hormone changes you do. It just from a pure size standpoint, as we saw in that previous video, whether it's some height, body mass, how you're able to be built, whatever, there's going to be some advantages. And even if you get those hormone changes, a lot of times these people aren't transitioning until they're already probably 16 or something anyway, to where now they already built up a frame of a man, and you know what I'm saying. So like, I just don't see a world in which it makes sense. This ain't hate at all. I don't care what nobody does with their body at all. That's up to you. It don't affect me and mine at all. But when you're participating in women's sports, now it can impact me and mine. Meaning, you know, I have little cousins who play soccer and basketball, and you know, female cousins is what I'm saying, who play soccer and basketball and stuff like that. So having a person born a man in that sport, like it's not right. It don't make sense. It's dangerous. It's not fair. And I don't even know why. If you're I guess mentally you're not even there. But if you're somebody who transitioned, why would you even want to participate in that? Like, how do you feel good about winning? Like, how do you feel like when they raise your hand up? How do you feel like, yeah, I really did that? It's like, no, you didn't know. That doesn't.
Here's the issue, Smitty. This is the thing, and then not to make this political, we're gonna go to commercial break right after this. Steve Kim joins us on the other side. Here's the issue I have for everyone that voted left that's in the chat. Please, I just want to ask you guys a question. You guys all have clearly said you're against this. What's going on right here? But you voted for it. If I were to ask you that question, how do you feel about if I said you voted for this, even though you're against this? What would you say? And I want Smitty to answer for everybody. I'm just asking Smitty the question. If the left voted for this, because at the end of the day, Smitty, if you voted for the 45 Democrats, who, by the way, just voted 45-0, if you voted for the Democratic Party to win in your presidential campaign, then this is ultimately what you vote for, correct?
Well, like, there's more than one thing when you vote, and I can't remember what the term is. When you vote for either side, there's probably something you don't like about Trump. I'm sure. I don't know, maybe not. I'm sure there's something you like about Trump.
I'm not with the abortion shit. The abortion shit's totally. I'm not with the abortion shit.
So perfect example.
Here's my point.
Trump, you voted for. Well, it's more to it than that. So it's not.
Here's my politics. My question is, though, like, one of their top two pushers was borders being open and the LGBTQ community having this free reign. That was one of their top two pushes in their campaign, along with the anti-abortion or abortion rule, right? Those were the three things that we can stick out there and say, this was our agenda. Two of the things, open border and this, was two of the three. So that's my point. If you voted for this, this is one of the two things that you were going to get into that. For my side, to your fair question, on my side, I didn't vote. So that's why I'm asking a question. I'm not sitting here accusing anybody. I'm asking a question for you guys that voted that way. Do you not think this far ahead to this is what you voted for? I've already said why I don't vote. I think the Epstein files haven't came out yet. Guess what? The Republican Party that's sitting in office said they're coming out, but the FBI is holding it now, and blah 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 blah. And that's why I had a rant on Monday. If you didn't tune in, I said this is why, or Friday, this is why I don't vote, because politicians and priests are the two most crooked people on planet Earth. I don't give a fuck what side you're on. At the end of the day, the voting to your guys' account that always bash me for not voting matters, according to you. So if you're going to go vote, this is what you vote for ultimately. That's all I'm saying. And I agree, they all are shitbirds. But I definitely know at the end of the day, common sense has to play a role in certain things. And you don't have to be a doctor, scientist. Men are clearly more physical in their attributes than women. So I don't know and understand. I had a buddy last night, Smitty, no bullshit, texted me and said, "Dog, we're playing over the line softball in a league." And my homeboy is a former SEC college baseball coach. He's playing outfield, and he had his daughter fill in the game. This is all grown men. His daughter played at Tennessee, SEC softball. A legitimate all SEC player, by the way. This 50-year-old man got up and hit a shot down first base and busted her whole fucking shit open because she couldn't react to the ball. And This is a high-level college women's baseball player at the SEC level, and a 50-year-old, my age guy, gets up there and takes a shot down first base. She couldn't react. It was so fast. That's the difference, dog. Like, that's clearly, I'm just trying to break down the science of this. There's clearly a difference in a 50-year-old versus a 25-year-old woman fresh out of college. Like, it just doesn't make sense, dog. We see the videos. We've seen all the issues. Women and men don't belong. But when the women come out and literally support it, it's what blows me away more than anything. That's all I'm saying. When the women come out and support it, and then the same women go out and bitch about women not being paid the same, it blows my mind. You want them paid more, but you want them to play against men. Make it make sense, dog. That's the only fundamental issue I have with this whole thing. So anyway, Smitty, good debate. I just wanted to get that out there. This is what's happening now. Brought to you by BetUS. Head on over there today. Use the promo code CoachJB. Smitty, where we at?
Quick commercial break, I think, and then we'll come back. I think Steve Kim will be joining us pretty shortly after that. Talk a little bit of boxing, some more NFL free agency. We'll go from there.
Yeah, where's Aaron Rodgers land? We're going to talk about that right after this. We'll be back in 5. Peace. The governor of Maine to her face, which I thought was funny as shit. I'm glad that we have a real man in office again. And he asked her if she's going to comply with the executive order banning men from women's sports, Smitty. Show the video, Bailey.
Has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it? We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding. See you in court. Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
That's gangster, homie. You can say what you want, Smitty, and I don't know. I don't think. First of all, I'm going to defend Smitty. Smitty's never defended the women-men sports thing, so I don't know how he's going to act on this. Yeah. But this is what this is about. This is what it's about. Let's be honest. Even if Smitty don't like DMV, you're so bad and gangster. But then you defend a man and a woman's sport like a bitch. That's crazy to me. You say you gangster, homie, you DMV living, but yeah, you defending this motherfucker because what? Skin color, homie? Is it skin color, homie? Mm-hmm. Why are you defending this fucking liberal-ass fucking governor who don't want to comply, but you're a gangster? See, if you're gangster, like all my gangster-ass homies, they're over there like Trump's a motherfucking gangster. But DMV's over here defending this liberal-ass fucking gang.
I got to stop you, because what you doing right now
homie, I'm tired of you weak motherfuckers, homie.
You talk about the country being divided, the energy you putting out right now. You're doing it right now.
No, I'm not.
Say nothing about no race.
No,
he said you are not the federal law.
No, not.
Federal law. You can't hold main federal law. That's what he threw out, and you just went in a whole deep dive.
No, not. I mean,
if you was a real gangster, you would be a gangster. So you basically saying if you not, you basically saying you a bitch if you disagree now. You're saying you're dividing it now. You're being divided, homie.
Time out.
How you gonna say that?
What is the topic?
The topic is men playing in women's sport, which we all agree on. It shouldn't.
You either are with it or against it, homie. There ain't no fucking gray area. Stop fucking defending it.
I'm with you on that, but it's more context to what we just heard, though. He's trying to talk about you ain't gonna get no federal money and this is that. It's all It's not just.
By the way, Smitty, let's put it in context. California's in the same boat. Let's put it in context. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna give it to you the real way. California's governor, Newsom, this scumbag here in our state, has also said the same thing as the Maine governor. So guess what? Federal law requires you to comply because we made it a law federally. Now the individual state law says I can be harder than federal law. But when the NCAA complied to Trump and the mandate and said, you know what? We're going to ban the fucking transgender shit. We're not allowing men to play in women's sports. And the federal law said, hey, we made this a federal law. You guys need to comply. There is a case, DMV, where you can cut off federal funding to an individual state. Look it up. Y'all act like you just fucking, this is the issue. Why isn't DMV, Smitty, and myself all on the same page when it comes to the topic? DMV said he doesn't like men in women's sports. Smitty says he doesn't like men in women's sports. I said I don't like men in women's sports. So why are we disagreeing? Again, that's my point.
There's still different ways to go about certain stuff. We're not arguing that point. We just watched a video that it's not just black and white. It's not just this. We all agree on that. That's the bigger point. If that's what you want to talk about, cool. We'll talk about that. Let's move on. It's the entirety of the bill that we just saw. It's his approach. A lot of people don't agree with Trump because of his approach to how he does stuff. The how he does stuff. That's the big issue in a lot of stuff. And that's okay to not like that. It doesn't make you soft, pussy, or a bitch because you disagree with that. And it doesn't make you racist or whatever if you do like his approach. It's just different opinions of the approach. We're not disagreeing on the actual fact of men playing in women's sports. Y'all know where I stand. I've been on that side from the get-go. I got a little sister too. I don't think biological men should be playing in women's sports. Point blank period. We're all
Answer me a question real quick so we can clarify. D. Jones said that I just made that whole men versus women thing a race thing. Did I even talk about race about that whole thing? Am I tripping? Because I thought it was about boys versus girls. I didn't know. I didn't give a fuck that the white girl was a boy. Did I mention that at all? Did I care about what color they were?
No, I honestly don't think you mentioned race at all.
I know I didn't, but D. Jones for some reason is sitting here.
Only thing I can see D. Jones, I guess, pointing to is when you pose the question of, for y'all who voted for that side, why did you vote if you disagree with this? So maybe he took y'all when you said that.
But I never mentioned race.
I didn't read it like that. I thought you just meant the
I didn't either.
Democrat. Yeah,
I didn't either.
D. Jones.
But D. Jones is clearly a race baiter. So that's what Smitty just said. All right, so let's move on.
They say all that. Well, let's move on, though, because it is Tuesday, and we do know on Tuesdays that this person comes on our show every single week, and he brings the heat. He talks all things NFL, college football, boxing, life. Whatever you need, this next guest is going to bring it to you. It's the one and only, the Korean co-sale, Mr. Steve Kim. Bring him on the show. What's going on, Steve?
Tuesday morning. What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Steve, you watch Laker game at time?
I like that polo get up you got. I like that. That's clean right there.
Well, yeah, it's going to be into the mid-60s. Wow, frigid. I don't pay high taxes for this type of weather.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, Steve. So that's a cool polo. That's a nice polo. I like that polo. It's got a little bit of like when the Lakers wear the black and gold uniforms. Did you watch the Laker game last night?
No, I won't. And they're
Hey,
good.
they're rolling those things.
They are rolling. They are rolling.
Chat literally wants me to ask you every time about basketball just because they know you hate it. So they want me to literally ask you if you like watch
I don't hate it. I think it's a terrible product. I mean, there's a certain level to a certain era. My historic knowledge of basketball, I would say, is well above average. And in fact, today's Fearless, me and Whitlock go into it because he actually defends LeBron against Skip Bayless, that this is why he's become this bitter guy. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, before we go on to more important things, the reason why, and this is why I disagree with Channing stir fry. Nostalgia didn't kill the NBA. It was this generation, which includes you, I guess, stir fry, your lack of respect for those who came before you, and this agenda to try and tell people that anyone is better than Michael Jeffrey Jordan that started all of this. That's the reality of it.
It kind of started, it didn't start, but it got some fuel to the fire when the current head coach of the Lakers, JJ Redick, called Larry Bird and Charles Barkley plumbers and firemen. I mean, let's be honest.
He called.
He was talking about the Bob Cousy.
Don't do that.
Jerry West. But he called Jerry West and those guys. Come on, man. Jerry West, the logo? Come on. He's not a fireman, dog.
Can I just say something? Luka and either Doncic, not Luka and Jokic are my two favorite players for one reason. Because they're white. No, not that.
Other than that.
So that's what D-Jump thought.
The fact that two doughy, unathletic, non-jumping, unquick white guys can dominate the league kills any argument. Well, who did these guys play against? Oh, better athletes than Luka. This whole notion that Larry Bird could not play today, and I've actually seen this from scholars out there. I'm like, bro, first of all, Larry Bird was closer to 6'10 than 6'9. I didn't realize that until I saw him in Magic.
6'11. Yeah.
I mean, he's actually a couple inches taller than Magic, who's like 6'8 to 6'9.
Yeah.
This whole notion that Larry Bird could not play, in today's game, he'd score 35 easy. Jordan would score 45. So I want those two unathletic, doughy, non-jumping SOBs to keep dominating the league against these quote-unquote superior athletes. Thank you. You are really making my point night in, night out.
I will say this. Luka and Joker, they're white, but they're not white. And I'm done. I'll leave it there.
They're not Wonder Bread. They're like pita bread from Spain.
Now Cooper Flag from Duke.
Whiter than white. They're actually whiter.
Cooper Flag from Duke might be the next great white American player who comes into it. Be ready for it.
Yeah, here's the difference. That's an interesting one. Cooper, with the position he plays, I think needs a little bit more quickness than the other two. But again, the defense is so soft and the game is so spread out. When you do not have contact in the paint as you're going up, it changes the whole game.
Fucking pita bread. Oh, is that what I am, Steve, now? Pita bread? Is that what it's come to?
Well, no. Pita bread's like Europe. So that's like the European white guys. You're Wonder Bread.
I mean, Luka and Joker are so white. They're see-through.
Well, they're translucent.
We're not talking about the actual skin tone. We're just saying where they from. Like, they're
the
not
geography.
Like white. They don't
certain guys are like when they say he's a white fighter. Yeah, but is he corn-fed white bread?
You know what I'm saying?
He's from the Ukraine. Well, then he's a different type.
JJ Redick is white. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's levels to white. But anyway.
I just want to lead this one in, Smitty, real quick, because I know you know more about the fighting thing than I do. I just want to lead this in because, Smitty, I don't know if you were aware, after the fight, Steve came over for Saturday. We did a live on our channel here, and Steve was like, if this fight is close and Tank could get upset here, we need to go live. And then the fight ended in a controversial manner, and Steve was like, man, we need to go live. Set that shit up. So we set it up and had 500-600 people in here at 10, 11 o'clock at night. And Steve, the guru that he is in this boxing space, I know he went on and did the three down knockdown rule with Mario Lopez yesterday. Lamont apparently is next, talking shit on Twitter. What was the outcome of that fight, Steve, to all our fans here today? that didn't see our live, what did you think of the controversial decision?
Lamont Roach won a draw. And it is funny, Smitty, so we're there. This is about 20 minutes before the main event. They're going through the pre-fight stuff, and I looked over to Coach. I said, Coach, if Lamont wins, I go, let's do a live, because this will be pretty big. Now, I thought Lamont would be very respectable. I told people, outside of power, Lamont Roach checks every box. He's fast, he's quick, he's got boxing IQ, very sharp technique, he's got a good head on his shoulders, he's tough, and he's not going to be intimidated because he is from the Beltway. These guys know each other. There's a familiarity, which breeded a little bit of contempt. And I knew he'd be good early on. I did not think he'd be able to hold off Tank. Smitty, not only did he not just hold off Tank, I thought he came on in the late rounds. The Roach actually ran down the Tank. He grew in stature during the fight. He got more confidence. And in the 9, 10, 11, and 12, when he went into the high guard and started peeking his head inside, and he said, okay, I'm going to get to the trenches here. I said, ooh, this is dangerous. But you know what? He more than held his own with one of the most vicious punchers in the game. I personally thought he won the fight. I thought the 9th round was an absolute travesty from Steve. What you talking about, Willis? We can get into that. So near the end, I said, Coach, no matter what happens here, there's going to be something to talk about. Let's set up.
Yeah.
And this is before the decision.
Yeah, that's
smart. Said, let's set up. And then when they said draw, I said, hurry up.
No.
And then we had a great show, and I'm really happy for Lamont. I'm trying to get him on the show. I just texted him. He texted me back. He's been incredibly busy. Yeah. Something's going on because he said, Steve, I'd love to do the interview with you guys, except I've been advised not to do interviews till a few things are cleared up. And this is my guess. They're going to file a protest with the New York State Athletic Commission. That's what I think.
I've been seeing the rumors online that the commission's been like kind of investigating or looking at the knee to see if they want to change the ruling from a draw to a win for Roach. Listen, I went back and watched the fight too because I wanted to all right, with no emotions, just watch the fight. I don't like draws, but I honestly thought it was a draw. I thought this was a legit. I thought Tank was up 4-2 the first 6 rounds. And then I thought on that back half, to your point, Steve, is when Roach started to really get going and make that comeback. But I thought in those later rounds, there were a few rounds where they were just scrapping, where it could kind of go either way. It's like if you went Tank, I'm not mad. If you went Roach, I'm not mad. And I think it was really, really tight.
Well,
take out the knee, then I think it's a tie.
Yeah. Well, Smitty, the first half of the fight, there were a lot of rounds where both guys really didn't do anything. So
the first 2 for sure, yeah.
And so then the back half, there were rounds where they both did a lot. So the tough rounds can be coming in a lot of different varieties.
Yeah.
I was stunned, and I told this to Coach. When Larry Hazard had it 5-1 on the PBC scorecard, I said, there's no way.
Yeah.
I said, there's no way. I thought the first 2 rounds I gave to Lamont. I
Me
don't
too.
think Tank did anything.
Yep.
Now, by round 6 and 7, I'm thinking, here comes Tank.
Yep.
Tank's rolling. But something happened with Lamont at 35. It's not like he suddenly became a great puncher. I think not making those 5 pounds gave him more physical strength. He looked very durable and strong. He was the guy in the center of the ring. He backed up Gervonta Davis just as much as he got backed up, and he hit him with the few key counter shots. Now, to your point, when people say the word robbery, and me and Whitlock talked about this, he said, Steve, is this one of the worst robberies that you've ever seen? And I said to him, well, I mean, in the context of, is it Pernell Whitaker getting jobbed against Chavez? No. Is it Ollie getting a gift against Ken Norton in their 3rd fight? No. Is it Felix Sturm getting absolutely stolen from against De La Hoya? No. But in the context of everything that led into it, specifically round 9, that's when it becomes kind of bad. The rule is very simple. If you take a voluntary knee without a foul, that is a knockdown. It was actually a light jab. In a split second, he took a knee. If that was a left hook to the body, people would say, well, that's a delayed reaction. Steve Willis actually started the count. Magically, he stopped it. The other rule is to the letter of the law. If you get corner assistance and there is no timeout or a stoppage in the fight, that's an automatic DQ, guys.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew that, Smitty, and I don't even know boxing like you guys. And I asked Steve that when we went live. I said, no, I thought if the corner touched you or went on to the actual mat, it was a DQ. And Steve said it is. And I said, damn.
Unless that referee calls timeout, there's too much Vaseline on the face, he'll call the corner up, they'll wipe it
Right.
out. But the fighter himself is not allowed to say, hey, hold up, fellas. Look out for the ropes. And then he gets like this whole, I'm like, what? I was stunned.
It's like Patrick Mahomes in the fucking in the gun takes a drop and then tells the ref, hold on.
The ball wet.
Hey, Steve, is this one of the most? Is this one of the more? If I had to ask you, is this one of the more justified appeals? If it is an appeal, as we think, it'll be justified, won't it?
Look, I've never actually seen an appeal work, and here's the issue. And if someone said, Steve, what if they overturned the decision because in that 9th round, 2 of those judges gave the round to Tank, so it absolutely flipped the decision. The problem is, and there is a problem, you're creating a slippery slope now.
You are.
Now you're setting this precedent, and then where does it end? I'm hoping, here's what I think should happen. Steve Willis should be suspended. I'm not saying he should be fired. He should be suspended. I would take him off main events for a while. That was egregious.
And you like
I
him.
like Steve. Steve in the ring, like he be really into it.
He's got a good track record, but that right there,
damn.
I talked to somebody that spoke to the head of that commission. They know they're under the gun. They know that they have an issue. And now they're saying that our instant replay didn't work because there was a technical malfunction. Oh, okay, so nobody had a sports.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They said that there's a technical malfunction. Why would that? That's a bad excuse. Let me see. Break down real quick because I learned something that night on the live. Smitty probably knows this, but break it down to the chat here. So explain the deduction if it were to happen for him taking a knee. It wasn't an automatic. It's an actual deduction, not a game. Correct?
Well, here's what it is. Yeah. It's a 10-point must system. So the winner of the round always has to get a 10 points. Yeah. I hate when there's double knockdowns and people say, well, that should be 9-9. No. Someone has to get 10. And then if there's a penalty, then you take it off. Okay? Yeah. So generally, in a knockdown round, as long as you fight pretty well the rest of the round, you get that extra point. It's 10-8. Yeah. I hear all the time, well, if it's a knockdown, it's an automatic 10-8 round. No, it's not. Because if you get beat up the rest of the round, but you throw a left hook that flashes out of nowhere, that judge can make it 10-9. I think it actually make it 10-10, although most commissions dissuade judges from giving even rounds. In that particular situation, if you watch the rest of round 9, it was pretty competitive.
Yeah.
I could see a judge saying, well, it's not 10-8 for Roach, but it's 10-9. That is still a 2-point flip. Because you go 10-9 from Tank to 10-9 to Roach, that's really a 2-point difference. If you go by the math, because it goes from -1 to +1 the other side. 2 of the judges had it for Gervonta Davis. I actually think Lamont may have won the last 4 rounds, if not 3 out of the 4. So we also talk about the context of what is a robbery. The fact that Lamont had to win the 12th on 2 of the 3 judges to get a draw. Man, that deck was completely stacked against Lamont.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Really
he had to get 2 out of 3, Smitty, to get a draw, even with the knee. That's what the crazy part is.
Well, at that point, we already knew that the knee wasn't a knockdown.
It's almost like it didn't happen, though.
Yeah.
That knee went into the Bermuda
I'm just saying, just imagine, though, that Davis wins.
But I guess being devil's advocate, if he did count that as a knockdown, I would argue that Tank's approach might be even a little different, too, knowing that, hey, they just counted as a knockdown. You got to EV. And not saying he wasn't aggressive already, but I just think as a fighter, if you know you got knocked down, it's just another level of like, damn,
right,
I'm down. So we don't know how that would have changed it, right?
There's no doubt he might have fought differently knowing, oh, geez, I got a 10-8 round against me. And that fight was really close going into 11 and 12. But I'm really happy for Lamont. I think he's going to be able to parlay this into something regardless. I've known Lamont for most of his career. He's a very solid individual. And I told him last year, he beat this Irish guy named Fergal McCrory on a Pro Box show. in D.C., sold some tickets. He fought with a purpose and an intensity I had not seen. And I told him this before. I said, Lamont, your skills are not the problem. Because I think you're a little bit too passive. And I told him right to his face, I said, Lamont, he goes, this is not the Bible. The meek shall not inherit the earth in boxing. You got to be a little bit more of an MFer. And I'm just telling you, on that night, that summer, he became an MFer. And I texted him after the fight, and I said, Lamont, he goes, you have grown as a fighter. I go, do not let yourself take off a year, though. You've got some momentum. You beat Hector Luis Garcia on a pay-per-view show. You were underneath the Caleb Plant. No, it was the Demetrius Andre Benavides fight.
Got you. Yeah.
That was a good win. Then he came back last summer, and I said, you have momentum. Keep it going. And the Lamont Roach that I saw in 2018 that lost to Jamel Herring is no longer that guy in 2025. I think he has arrived as a professional prize fighter.
Steve, is that so? Is this Twitter beef that's going on? The back and forth yesterday we saw. I don't know if Bailey has it, but is this second fight legit? Did Davis agree?
Davis seemed.
Your bitch ass just happy you didn't get knocked out.
Davis flip-flops more than a politician on the campaign trail. I mean, last week he said on Wednesday at the PBC Open workout, you know what, for my own good, I need to be more active. I want to fight 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. That's fine. Then the next day gets on with Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, I'm getting, I might retire, man, soon. Bro.
That's my thing. I feel like, listen, I like Roach. That's a hell of a fighter. It has nothing to do with Roach. He put on a great fight. I just feel like, to your point, Tank was weird this whole lead up to this fight. It's like he was, I don't know. I'm not saying he's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It just seemed like mentally he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't all the way there.
And then Smitty on Saturday, he says, "Yeah, well, we could do the rematch. Probably won't be next." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Someone, who visited my dressing room. And by the way, one of those people I heard was Jake Paul. Just saying." And we're like, "What?" Then Monday, I think. Here's what I think happened. He saw what was being said on social media on Sunday, and he flip-flopped right back.
Because Steve, you know more than me. Tank is emotional, and he doesn't like getting embarrassed. So I think he's more motivated now for the rematch than he was for the official match because he's pissed off.
I've always said about Tank Davis, anytime he tweets something, you better screenshot it because there's a good chance he's going to delete it in an hour.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of screenshots of Tank Davis. I don't know because he's so volatile.
Yeah. He ain't delete these though, so he might be ready. I don't know.
Hey, gallery with Tank Davis deleted tweets.
Yeah.
Stephen, before we move on, I just got to ask you one last question. This boxing segment, I'm sure, will be a video today on the channel. Why aren't the best fighting each other anymore as we grew up with Hagler, Hearns, Duran, and all these guys? Is it all money? Is it all safe spaces? I want a longevity. I don't want to work as hard. I don't want to fight as much per year. We used to see 3-4 fights a year. Now we're seeing one every year or two in Gervonta Davis's. Where are you at with that question? Like, why isn't Shakur fighting Davis? Why isn't it?
Everyone avoids Shakur because they avoid him like AIDS in 1989. And I think that's a damn shame. And you know me, I'm not the greatest Shakur fan, but I know.
You mean Rock Hudson? Rock Hudson?
Oh, hey, come on.
Go ahead.
You say safe spaces. That's a very interesting term. A lot of these fighters, this game is now more divided. There are more major promoters. It's not just Aram King, HBO, Showtime. And there are also more platforms and networks who then sign these fighters to exclusive deals. So they're basically stuck in their own galaxy or island, and not enough people find it worth their while to co-promote. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's one of the reasons why Crawford Spence was delayed by at least 3 years. Mayweather Pacquiao was delayed by at least 4.5, 5 years because nobody wanted to break bread in the middle of the table. Now, you talk about, I wanted to address something. I keep hearing that Tank Davis, well, he overlooked Lamont. Okay. But here's the issue, though, guys. And you guys played sports, and you guys played in a sport that had a regular schedule. And I'm sure you guys had games where you overlooked an opponent. But isn't overlooking generally for athletes who have a set schedule that play on a regular time frame?
Right.
When you fight once or twice a year, and you fight maybe once every 8 to 9 months, there's no excuse to overlook anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to fight once a year, that one fight is kind of important to me. Now, if you're Evander Holyfield ringside and Mike Tyson's fighting Buster Douglas, knowing, all right, I got to just get through this 42-1 fight, then I get to fight the real. I can see that being an overlooked situation.
Right.
But when you are fighting so infrequently, I don't really like that excuse. I don't. The Dodgers play 162 games a year. Do they overlook a couple games? Last game of a road trip. They just want to, yeah, that happens. The Lakers in the NBA, do they load management saying, hey, last game, of course they do. I don't believe the modern day boxer has that excuse. I really don't. And I think that is taking credit away from the performance of Lamont Roach.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I just hope they actually rematch. I thought it was a good fight. Regardless of what side, it was a good fight. And I hope the rematch happens soon, like Tank is saying, the end of May. Because May's gonna be a big month. They got a great fight card. Was it May 2nd? Where I think Haney's on that, Rowley and
the press conference is today. So here's what's gonna happen: Cinco de Mayo weekend. That Friday, Times Square, that card with Ryan, Tio, and Haney. Basically tune-ups. Although I think Tio has to take on his mandatory and Arnold Barboza. That's probably the best fight of that whole card.
Yeah.
Rolly Romero and Ryan.
Entertaining.
That's going to be an entertaining press conference today if Rolly brings out a certain personal situation. And Ryan has already said on Twitter, if you cross the line, I'm going to slap you, bro. Also, Devin has to take on the faded version of Jose Ramirez, so we'll see that. Then Saturday, from the land of the Kingdom Arena, Saudi Arabia, Canelo Alvarez takes on William Skull. That's a smash job. And then there are reports, and I've also heard this, Inoue might fight on a Sunday in Las Vegas. So that's going to be like this big
in Vegas?
extravaganza. Yeah, in Vegas. It's like Neil Diamond coming to America.
Who is?
Naoya Inoue.
Inoue, he's the guy who always fights at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning because he's overseas, but he's arguably the pound-for-pound best fighter in the game. His power is crazy at that weight division. I would love to see him fight in person. He just never over here. So it's like it's hard to really see him.
He'll draw big. I'm not liking the fact that the hotel and everyone thinks you need a Mexican because of the particular weekend. My view is this: let him fight the best available guy, and you load the undercard up with Mexicans. That's what I would do. But Inoue is not going to make a lot of appearances. This will be his 4th in America. And I tell people, if it's on your bucket list to see him fight live, you may want to do it that day.
Yeah, I might have to figure it out because he a bad boy. But that's a hell of a just weekend though, just a box.
You can't go. You can't go. Too many Mexicans up there. You can't go for that.
I'm great. Me Mexican. I'm great. I've got 10% Mexican than me.
Steve, I got to ask you a question. Moving on to football, one of your favorite humans in the world, Jimmy Johnson, retired from Fox yesterday after 30 years. Smitty, did they do a celebratory event?
Well, all the shows paid homage to him and honored him all throughout the day. I think he made the announcement on the Herd, if I'm not mistaken, the official announcement. I'm not sure if they're doing anything else moving forward, but every show paid homage to him. I was born 94. He started at Fox in 94. I mean, just think about that. Yes, Jason.
When they ran that tribute to him in the Super Bowl, the football life of Jimmy Johnson, that graphic through all his jobs, I think that was the foreshadowing that, hey, Jimmy, thanks. I didn't even I thought they were just paying homage to him. And then me and Whitlock talked about it, and Jason said, looks like he's retiring. And it did hit me, they don't do that for guys who are going to be around for another 5 years. I heard the interview with him and Cowherd. He had been contemplating this for about 4 or 5 years. It's the travel that really kills him. They wanted to do maybe a reduced schedule, and he just said, nah, I'm out. I know somebody that spoke to Jimmy Super Bowl week, and he said, the travel's enough. I got to live the rest of my life and spend it with my family. I'm happy for him. 31 years is a great run. Still the greatest coach in my view in Miami Hurricane history. Certainly did a great job with the Dallas Cowboys. The run that he had from the University of Miami from about 85, 86 to 93, it's the greatest concurrent run that any college to pro coach will have. No one will be able to duplicate
Coker was better, but yeah.
Coker couldn't hold his clipboard.
Steve, Smitty.
Jason, go ahead.
I'm hearing rumors, Steve.
Oh my God.
What's
His
that?
replacement is no other
Mina
than
Kimes. Mina Kimes.
Dan Orlovsky. Smitty got quiet. That's a rumor I'm hearing, Smitty.
Okay, here's the issue. Here's the issue with the NFL, that Fox show, right? And I've said this. There's too many people. It looks like the Last Supper on that set. Can we, less is more?
It's a great show to me. I love the show. It's a legendary show. Been going for 31 years. I love it.
But it's the Last Supper. I mean, at its peak, it was Howie, Terry, Jimmy, and the point guard. Now it's just so spread out with Strahan, and I'm just like, all right, but
Strahan, no, it's Strahan, no. Come on now.
I'm with you, but I would just say right now, we don't need to immediately replace Jimmy. Let's just shrink the set, give everyone a little bit more touches. But Jimmy, I still think Jimmy's greatest moment was before the '93 championship game. The Cowboys, they didn't look that good against the Packers in the week before. They looked a little bit sloppy. The Niners just dominated the Giants. It was Phil Simms and Lawrence Taylor's last game, and Ricky Waters had 7 touchdowns. And I'm not going to lie to you, the Niners looked better, and they wanted that revenge, and I'm thinking, ooh, I don't know about this. So on that Wednesday before the game, Jimmy was driving home, and he's listening to the radio, and the the Dallas media was really worried. So he calls in. He had the hotline number. And this became a national story. And he goes, put me on the air. And the guys go, all right, so we have Jimmy Johnson. He called in. Jimmy, what's going on? And he goes, guys, now I've been listening to you now, and I know we got a big game, but I want to put it out there. And they're like, what's that? Put it in 3-inch headlines. We will beat the Niners. You can put it in 3. We will, and that became put it in 3-inch headlines, and that just ignited. They almost had a fight on the field. The Niners were a very, very calm, calculating team. They almost started a fight during the pre-games. There's footage of it. Jerry Rice got into someone's face. Troy Aikman in that first half before he got a concussion was just slicing him. Emmett was gashing him, and all the players rallied behind Jimmy. And then Jimmy had a great speech. He said, I'm not going to say anything this week. I wrote the check. You guys paid the bill. But, hey, how about the Cannon people? And I had a tear in my eye. I said to myself, the University of Steve would never let a man the caliber of Jimmy Johnson out of his university.
Never.
The University of Miami did not reel down. I don't think they were going to keep him. But if you look at Jimmy's last 2 recruiting classes at Miami, he may have gone 50-0 the next 5 years. That's how good that team was that he let. I mean, the guy, look, Jimmy was not always this nice, friendly guy. That was the beauty of him. And the greatest thing he did for the University of Miami and their football players, when he got there, the graduation rate was about 15%. When he left, it was about 80%. He impacted young lives. Okay, and I think that's the most underrated aspect of what Jimmy has done. And unfortunately, Coach, I do not believe we will have men like Bill Parcells and Jimmy Johnson anymore. I just don't think it's allowed.
Yeah, I agree. Steve, yesterday, speaking of Miami and all this coaching, there was a sighting of a certain somebody walking to practice. Ed Ogeron, Big Edo, good friend of mine.
Oh, he's always there. Ed's always
there. I know. And I
love it. Hey, go Miami. Go Hurricanes. Go Tigers. Yeah, all right. Let's go.
I got Red Bull. I'm going to take a Red Bull.
Ed Ogeron is always there, or he's a regular attendee. His son is actually an analyst at the current University of Miami staff. And trivia question. Jimmy Johnson's last 2 GAs that he ever hired in '88 were Ed Ogeron and Tommy Tuberville.
Wow.
The man knew talent.
Look at him. He done lost some weight. He out there jogging on the beach. Got him a young girl.
South Beach. Go Miami.
She'll drink 5 hours. Hey, he used to come to my house. True story, Smitty. He used to come to my house on the beach in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And work out my fucking kids on me before it was allowed. He would work out my kids and film it with an old camcorder.
What?
And he would 5-hour energy and a Red Bull. No bullshit. I mean, and then he was the one that ran the conditioning at 5 a.m. at SC for Pete, and he would be out there at 5 in the morning. He'd be out there at 4:30 jogging around the field that's there right now, the practice field, jogging, and have a fucking Red Bull. And then the first crew of players came out to condition at 5 a.m. because you couldn't be before 5 a.m. in the NCAA. So it was crazy. I mean, it was fun.
When he was a young guy, when he used to drink a lot, he's the last guy you'd mess with. I've heard the stories. I know the stories. I know where it happened. He was basically the Secret Service for Dennis Erickson because he was kept on that staff.
Yep.
Let me just tell you something. He's one of those guys that could have played football without pads.
Hey, Arkeo, same way. Arkeo, same way.
But, I mean, Ed Orgeron at one time was the meanest son of a gun you'd ever run into.
Really?
I'm just telling you that right. He was not. I think even today, except he doesn't drink, he's a really big, friendly guy now. He has no stress on his life. But when he was a younger guy, specifically at Miami from 88 to about 92, he was. Let me just. You did not tangle with that guy. I'm just telling you.
And you mentioned all those accolades that he could have had there with Jimmy. Speaking of Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys would have won 3 or 4 in a row, in my opinion.
One time I interviewed Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
He said,
Playmaker.
I should have 3 more rings.
Yeah, he loves it.
I should have had 3 more. He goes, and look, Michael enjoyed himself with Barry Switzer because some of the restrictions were off. Okay? And I'll just put it to you, and I'm not saying they were choir boys under Jimmy. They were still adults. But Michael Irvin got buck wild. And the guy that really suffered, Coach, from Jimmy leaving Dallas, and he says it all the time, is Troy Aikman. And there's a funny story. Troy and Jimmy did not like each other in year 1 and 2 because he drafted Steve Walsh in the supplemental draft. So here's a funny story. Jerry Rohn is this longtime NFL coach. I don't think he coaches anymore, but he really respected guy, coached quarterbacks and offense. And he tells a story during the 89 training camp. There was actually a divide in the staff, or Troy or Steve Walsh. So Jerry Rohn says, I'll never forget, one day we're at a staff meeting, and all the coaches that came from Miami that had Steve Walsh and were with Jimmy, we were going down saying, all right, give us your opinion. Who do we go with that quarterback here? So all the Miami guys were like, well, Steve Walsh has all the intangibles. He's smart. He's a winner. He's intelligent. Even Jimmy was waffling. So they get to Jerry Rohn, and Rohn goes, hey, guys, I know the guy won you a national title, but are you crazy? Do you see what Troy Aikman does with the football? He goes, Steve Walsh can't dream of making those throws. And all the Miami coaches, yeah, you're right. You're right. They're like, you're right.
Laughed it off. All right.
They said, get the nostalgia the hell out of here. It is Troy. And the way Troy and Jimmy got close was 2 things happened. Troy fired David Shula. And that's why Jimmy and Don Shula, they were not friendly. That was a real issue. Even before he went to the Dolphins, he fired his son and he brought in Norv Turner, which turned around everything. So one day, they're kind of thawing out the relationship, and Troy asked Jimmy about an aquarium, because he knew he had an aquarium. And he goes, look, come to my house. I'll tell you why I will watch fish, because he used to like to watch fish interact.
Yeah.
That's what act like his thing. So that's how they be really bonded. They went to a fish store, bought a bunch of fish aquariums. They bought some fish, and that's when they started to become. But what happened was, under Jimmy was the bad cop. He would bitch at everybody. Troy would be the cool quarterback. Hey, buddy, come here. Don't, Jimmy, I got this. Let me talk to Jimmy. So then everyone thought Troy was the greatest guy. Like, yeah, Troy's got it. Yeah. But what happened was, when Barry Switzer got in, Troy became the bad cop, and he said on a documentary, the worst thing that happened because players started to resent me, and I started hating Barry. That's what happened.
Man. Well, real quick, Steve, before you go, last thing, I don't know if you saw this, but Bill Belichick in North Carolina will no longer participate in the Hard Knocks.
Wait, they pulled out?
Season. Yeah, the deal fell through, Steve. Yeah, I know. What the live reactions right here, y'all. Steve is disappointed, obviously. What do you feel about right now?
This is worse than when the Fat Boys broke up.
Smitty don't even know that is.
Well, that's a great line from Boomerang, Boney T. But here's the thing. As someone that's literally watched every episode of Hard Knocks, I was surprised that Mr. Focus on Cincinnati. You got any football questions? Football. I was stunned that he even agreed to do it. But
I said it yesterday.
There was 1 year where the NFL could not find a team for HBO, and it ended up the Jacksonville Jaguars did their own version of Hard Knocks on NFL Network. It was not quite as good. But I remember when that series started, summer of 2001 with the Ravens, because they had just won the Super Bowl. Jamal Lewis literally busted his knee right in front of the HBO cameras. Tragic scene because it killed their season. Why did they back out? What's the reason?
I'm hearing a few things. I've heard a few things. So I actually talked to somebody yesterday that I mentioned earlier. But anyway, he says that they never agreed in the first place, and it was a false report.
What?
Yeah,
that's a pretty big one. That's Dewey defeats Truman.
And then somebody leaked a discussion that was ongoing between HBO, the NFL, and Bill Belichick, and then they ran with that story as if he accepted it because the NFL had no participant. So I don't know where we are. It's all allegedly right now. But who? So are you as shocked as I am that A, he took it originally, which seems to be maybe a false report, or B, the NFL and Roger Goodell's not mandating a team?
Well, I thought they could. See, there's certain rules about who's eligible and who would be eligible to turn it down. But to me, guys, when Hard Knocks starts in the first week of August, it always signals to me, guys, it's almost the season.
Right.
It's a summer ritual. Like, that's one of the reasons why I love Dan Campbell. And it wasn't because of the Detroit series. In 2011, they did the Dolphins with Joe Philbin, right? That was the year that the most famous scene was that Chad Johnson got cut on national TV because he had an issue with his, I think some reality star he was shacking up with. He had an issue. Yeah, and they cut him right on camera. I was like, wow, what a way for a potential Hall of Fame career to end, right? But that's when I first really saw Dan Campbell as a coach. And I literally have this tweet that someone sent to me. I said, that guy's going to be a future head coach. Like, you could just see it with old Dan. Like, he just had the look. I said, that guy's going to go places. You learn football. Like, you learn things. It's a fun show. It's incredibly well produced. I think that it would be a loss. And, Coach, I thought that when that report came out that UNC had accepted that, number one, it'd be a great recruiting tool for Tar Heel football. But it was also a way for Belichick to say, hey, guys, I'm actually a fun guy. Look at this young girl I'm with. I'm cool. You play here.
That was Smitty's take yesterday. My take was like, I can't believe you agree to it. A guy that's the most vanilla, non-talkative, quiet, secretive guy who's planning his next gate is the guy that wants to be on TV. I was like, there's no way. But then I said, you know what? It's a shit sandwich to Shaun King, to the NFL, for not allowing him to coach and get his 15th win to be the all-time winningest coach. That's what I was like, all right, he's going to show you guys that he can do this. And Smitty's point was like, yeah, you got the young girl, recruiting ploy, blah, blah, blah.
Come see our great facilities. Everyone gets 18 pairs of Jordans. You get the gear. I just like, I hope somebody steps up to the table and does it. I'm just telling you, I've literally watched every episode of NFL Hard Knocks from 2001. I could actually write a dissertation on that doggone thing. By the way, Coach, this is very disappointing. And again, this is the slippery slope. And I get why it's happening. The fact that college teams, and by the way, Miami began spring ball yesterday. So good luck to everyone out there at Green Tree and the Soffer Athletic Indoor Complex. The fact that certain teams are now not just going to do a spring game or televise them, that's sad.
Me too. Sad. I said it too, Steve. I said it too, Steve.
That's for the fans. I get it. You don't have to run a full scrimmage, but do something so the fans can come out, sign a few autographs, get to know the players. It's a great marketing tool. And I get it that there's poaching. You don't want to give away stuff, the injury factor. But are there no traditions anymore in this doggone thing? Nah,
it's unbelievable. It's a semi-pro. It's just making it hard to watch for me, man. Harder and harder to watch, similar to NBA for you. That's kind of how I look at it. But
the way I look at it, spring ball used to be, we are going to set our team going into fall camp, right?
They can't do it anymore, Steve.
Right. Yeah, because of that second transfer window portal, which I'd get rid of. I would flat out say we get a transfer window portal. Now, who are we going to weed out and who are we going to bring in? So even now, I have to admit, spring ball doesn't have to for me. It doesn't. And I still watch the updates. I still watch D-Money, Peter Oriz, my guy Gio Million, all the insiders at Kane Football. But I'm thinking to myself, are you guys talking about a bunch of players or some who may not be here in a month, right? I mean, who are we really talking about?
Yeah, I know. Bailey, what's going on? Real quick,
some breaking news in the NBA. As you guys are talking NBA, but Kyrie Irving has suffered a torn ACL in his left knee, season-ending injury.
It's over.
Obviously, unfortunate injury.
Oh, Dallas lost big, Steve, here on this trade. God damn, this is a bad trade. At the end of the day, they're looking at this as hey, Steve, he shot his 2 free throws, Kobe-esque. As he walked off or was carried off. Shout out to Kyrie, who did not take the shot. Shout out to Kyrie Irving. But what do you say, Steve, real quick before you leave?
Dallas recently, I read a report, and I'll take it at face value. Did they raise their season ticket prices for next year?
Yeah, 8%.
Okay. I'm just going to say this. I don't call for boycotts. Do whatever you want. But if you're a Dallas fan that participates in that and you keep bitching, it's on you. I think it's an incredibly bad look. They talk about the optics. You dump a superstar. Okay, now I'm not even – the injury they can't do anything about. But to have the unmitigated gall to do that to your season ticket base after ripping their hearts out, as I like to say, good luck with that.
I can't wait. The Lakers play them again in Dallas, though, I think in April. I can't wait to just see the fan reaction. I won't be surprised if they boo the Mavs at home and cheer for Luka, honestly.
There's going to be so many 77 jerseys.
So many.
I mean, crazy. A lot. I don't see
Hey, Steve, is this a telltale sign that their business plan is coming to fruition and moving this team to Vegas?
Yeah, or they want that casino. Whitlock talked about that. Gosh, I feel bad for the loyal Maverick fans. I would start load managing my support of that franchise.
Because you don't bring AD back at this point now, right? Why?
Nah, you still bring him back. You got to at least try to give your fans something and try to.
Hey guys, I have a question about AD. I brought this up to Whitlock. If AD, who looks like I think he'll still be a Hall of Famer, and he gets a jersey retired by a team. Instead of having one of those big foam replica jerseys, would his jersey on the wall be like a sports coat or a pair of slacks with his number on it?
Jeans.
No, I'm just asking. Smitty, think about it. Because if you go to the crypto, there's a 21 Cooper, 32, 42 Worthy. So with AD, it'd be like a sports coat or a shirt with his number on it.
Street clothes.
Right. I'm just
with some Jordans on.
Right, wouldn't it be appropriate?
Hey,
good work.
We are here to honor Anthony
with a picture
Davis.
of Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley's face.
Anthony, we are retiring your silk shirt and just bring it down. You got paisley design.
He got glasses on, Steve.
He got glasses on.
2 chains.
Or it could be a whole outfit. It could be the pants and the thing, but just make it right next to Magic. That's all I'm saying. It would be appropriate that of all the guys, we are going to retire your sports coat.
Hey, Steve, as you leave here, to your point on the spring ball thing, I just wanted to touch on. I've been talking to coaches, talking to Weddle, talking to other guys. I've been saying this on our show here with Smitty. The bottom line is you can't practice anymore like we once did because of the special teams factor and knowing that your whole special teams routine, install, and etc. will go out the window come summer because it ain't going to be the same guys. It ain't gonna. It's going to be a waste of coaching. Right. Now we're just coaching to coach.
Because those are the depth pieces. That's the backup linebacker. That's
the problem, man. And I think coaches, I don't agree because I think coaches making this much money should fucking coach. I don't care who they are, but I get it. I guess we're not going to just coach to coach. We're not going to coach coaches year round, I guess.
Hey, Coach, looking at Miami special teams last year, it was pretty obvious. They didn't practice them much. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, guys, just saying.
Hey, I know.
You, man.
Hey, you're not going out there to spring in Miami, are you, for any spring?
Really not even. I was just like, what am I? Why can't just watch ESPNU or the ACC network? I went there a couple years ago for Cristobal's first year, and they had it at that stadium out there, wherever that was. I'm not opposed to going, but the problem is on that day, April 12th, Boots Ennis fights Amantastani Onis. I want to watch that. That's a really good fight. Unification bout at welterweight. It's a good fight.
Boots might come out with some Timbs on again. Okay.
No, that's Fulton, but that is a Philly.
That's Fulton. Yeah, I got
a Philly. That's a Philly thing, though. Maybe come out with a FUBU trunks or something, or a Pelly Pel, in each.
All right, Steve.
I'm just saying. We want to keep it urban there. You went there, not me.
FUBU. I ain't heard that in years. Oh man.
Fat Farm.
Dave,
anyway,
you got Whitlock right now?
Well, we taped the show yesterday.
It's pre-tape. Come on, listen, JB. You weren't listening earlier.
Is that how it's going to be?
If you have anything else to ask me, go ahead. I got a few minutes.
Okay, is that how it's going to be from now on Whitlock?
No. Once in a while, he'll just double tape a show.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Once in a while.
Oh, then let's keep Steve on for a second. I got to ask him one more thing, and we might as well dive into this, Bailey. Why not? Let's put Smitty in a pickle here, and let's 2-on-1 pause. Smitty here. Right. Steve, this is why.
What happened?
I don't think women should be referees in men's sports. But anyway, take a look at this. Luka wiping the ball, sweat on there, throws it to the girl ref. She don't want nothing to do with it. She said, "What are you doing with that? Why are you sending me those sweaty balls?" Where? This is my point. Smitty's going to go opposite. We already know. Why do we have to have a female ref of men?
Well,
and is there a reason, Steve? You know this better than I do, and Smitty. Isn't there a reason why women aren't reffing MMA and boxing fights when two men are fighting?
No. There are some women referees. There are
in men's sport and fighting.
Even back in the 90s, there was Gwen Adair. I knew her, a very nice lady, and there's some other ones. Sparkle Lee.
Thank you.
But there was this one referee
did she give him a tech, though?
Really? Can you do that?
It looked like she did.
Harden was
going to shoot some clutch free throws. Luka got the ball, put sweat on it to throw Harden off. She caught him doing it, and then asked for. I think she did give him a tech right here. Yep. And then had somebody bring a towel to go dry it off. So
that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, low key. It ain't that serious. It's pretty funny. I think it's real funny.
Even LeBron's mad, Smitty, about the women reffing, and you're not.
I don't think that's what LeBron's mad about. He's mad that it's late in the game and they just called a tech on Luka here.
Is that against the rules, though? I do want to know. If that's against the rules, I don't have an issue with it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know either.
Do you think a man ref don't just grab that ball, fucking throw it back to the
man ref would have said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, I don't know. You just pour water on the ball. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny.
I've seen this a lot. I've seen this a lot. This ain't the first time I've seen this.
But the ref saw it this time.
Oh, and one of those old school referees, like an Earl Strom, would have said, "Hey, wise guy. Hey, Gaylord Perry, stop putting on the ball." I don't know if they would have attacked him though.
He'll be fine now too. You want to bet he's fined?
Well, I think technical fouls come with fines, don't they?
Maybe.
I think it's like intentions. The
intentional foul. If you get a technical foul, it's an automatic fine, right? I'm pretty sure, Smitty.
But look, I get it. I mean, I don't want to touch anyone's sweaty balls either.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, JB. If I was at your house and we was hooping and I saw you get a basketball and rub all your nasty sweat.
Oh, coach. Hey, guys, this is what we got to talk about before I get out of here.
Thank you.
Before the fights.
Because you're soft, Smitty.
The NFL Combine. Holy shit, these quarterbacks were bad.
Oh, man, they were bad.
I mean, it was noticeable.
Isn't
That's
that
why
more
Cam
the
Shador
reason
didn't
why?
throw to protect themselves, which was
No.
smart.
That's why he should have thrown. That's why he should have thrown.
No, based on that,
Yeah, he should have.
they would have looked like Black Dan Marino compared to these.
He would have, yeah, exactly my point. If Shador would have thrown, he would have been, oh, well, he is a top 5. Now he's going to be out of the top 10.
They're already poised as the top 2 quarterbacks off the chart. The rest of the quarterbacks just shit themselves at the combine, so they just risen their stock without even participating. It's good business.
No, okay, guys. I don't understand how so many guys on their 3rd and 4th rep were late on the out route. I mean, I'm like, hey, guys, you're not playing in the Canadian Football League. I mean, and then if I was one of those
they didn't
people,
have a center. They didn't have a center. That's the problem.
We talked about that. And the other thing was, if I was one of those people on the sidelines, I would have worn a helmet every time Jalen Milroe or Will Howard threw. My God, they're about to give someone a concussion or break someone's nose like Marsha Brady on that famous episode where the football hit her nose.
At the garage?
Tyler Shuck looked good until the go routes. He struggled on the go routes, but Tyler Shuck had a zip on the ball, and he got it off on time. These other quarterbacks against air, I'm like, guys, you are late on every throw. You're getting your guys out of bounds. I'm thinking this is a bad class. Bad class, man. Bad class.
Hey, speaking of this, Bailey, let's dive right into it, Smitty. Josina Anderson, your last thing, Steve. Josina Anderson.
She's not happy. Oh.
Yeah, she came out and said basically that I am disappointed to hear that a quarterback's coach from a team drafting in the top 7 referred to Shedeur Sanders as coming off brash and arrogant in his team interview and making his assessment known to a number of people per source. We don't know the source. I'm purposely not naming the team, of course, Smitty's point, as not to directly call the team out. I'm just sharing that this coach's personal assessment is the direct opposite from how Sanders came across to many reporters in his press conference with the media at the Combine. Sanders appeared to go out of his way to acknowledge multiple media members, regardless if they were recognizable or not. He seemed cordial, polite, witty, thoughtful, along with being confident, as many athletes are, especially during the Combine. Alternately, these observations were distinctly different from how another quarterback prospect came off to some in the media last year in Indy, end quote. So Josina Anderson wrote all this. Smitty says it all the time. I'm not going to bash a kid for off the field that I don't know. I don't know anything about Shedeur personally. I know about I just judge him off the quarterback position. I think he should have thrown. That's just me because I'm a quarterback. I think we throw. That's what we do. But all the other shit, all the other noise, I don't know nothing about. I'm not going to sit here and judge the kid. I think what I think, and this point right here, we see this every year, Steve. We've seen this for years and years and years. People digging up shit to find a reason why to whatever. Merrill Hodge has been calling it out for years. We've seen all these different people. Where are you at with Josina's comments?
I get where she's coming from, but look, a player will act a certain way in front of the media than they will behind closed doors. Josina, right, you were there maybe during the media scrums. I don't know if you were or not, but I'm assuming you've been in media scrums and guys put on their best face. But I've actually seen these videos of these meetings that happen during the Combine, okay? The Detroit Lions did some great videos where they actually talked about the whole process with Brad Holmes. And these things are pretty serious. They ask you, let's go through a concept, drop a concept. What do you think about this play? What's your favorite personnel package? This particular play, what were you thinking? Good and bad. Okay, Brad Kaya talked to me about his meeting that he had with a few teams during his process. It's pretty interesting what goes on. And to think that you're not going to be any different from that setting to being in front of the media where these guys are really, a lot of these guys are media savvy. I don't know what the problem is. If the quarterback coach did not like Shedeur Sanders, that is his right. I don't get it. I mean, so you're upset at someone for their own opinion. Well, Josina, a lot of people may not like yours. I mean,
We said that as a quote of the day yesterday. We said you have the right to an opinion, but you do not have the right to tell me what my opinion should be.
Right.
Here's the thing I gotta say. I like a brash quarterback. If I'm coaching him, I want a little shit on his neck. I want him to be a little nasty. I want him to have an asshole in him. I want him to be that guy because that quarterback position is just different. I want him to be a little brash. And my number one. If I'm grading Shedeur Sanders, my number one, my highest grade for him would be the ability to get up when he gets knocked down. So I grade toughness. I think the kid showed that he could take a shot or two or 152 in his case and get up. I love that about him. I said that about Patrick Mahomes. I love to see tough quarterbacks, period. I think Shedeur's a tough quarterback.
Well,
I will give him that.
If you go back to the quarterbacks that had real character concerns, Johnny Manziel was one of them, right? Ryan Leaf, there were rumors way back when. Guess what? They were true. So there's always this thing about it's like this. I don't want to say it's like a political campaign, but there's a character assassination that might go on. And then those on that side, on that camp, will then play, no. Our guy's a Boy Scout. He's one of the greatest human beings ever. Okay. You don't think there were concerns about Jamarcus Russell? How'd that work out? Were people slandering Jamarcus or were they just observing? I really don't think a quarterback coach, who most people would not know, would wake up and I want to smear Shedeur. It's going to hurt them. Why?
And just to finish Shedeur on this side, here's the other reason why I've had these conversations with a lot of guys, especially a good friend of mine, T. Martin, who's Lamar's coach right now, and other guys that are coaching right now who recruited Lamar in college. And I'm like, who's actually with Bill Belichick now in North Carolina. The issue is there's a lot of quarterback coaches in the league, Steve, that absolutely should never be coaching quarterbacks. And that's a problem I have as a quarterback guy. I'm sitting here like, hold on, you hired a tight end guy to fucking coach Lamar Jackson. They actually hired a wideout coach from Florida to coach Lamar his first 5 years. And then they hired T, who's a quarterback, and then Lamar actually has gotten better. There's guys that just hire guys within the circle because they're comfortable with them. And Harbaugh did that in his early years there with Lamar. They hire these guys that should never fuck. Dan Hawkins interviewed me to coach quarterbacks when Darian Hagan was at Colorado. I had a number one player in the country, Akeem Ayers, who ended up going to UCLA. And they wanted him. So obviously I think I got a token interview, but Darian was one of my best friends. And I get the interview with Dan Hawkins, who I've known for a long time. And he ends up hiring a 71-year-old high school guy that was his coach in high school out of Sacramento. And I'm sitting there like, and they were horrific the next year. And his son happened to be quarterback.
Cody Hawkins.
Cody Hawkins. So it was like I know the business and I know why they hire these guys. And Sean King and I talk about it all the time. Like, so I don't know who it was, and that's why I want to know who this quarterback coach is. Is this some fucking O-line guy now coaching QBs? Or that's all I'm saying. And I see it a lot. And
right.
I'm like,
I mean, look, let's not act like Shedeur Sanders is the cleanest prospect ever in terms of whatever questions people have. But they're allowed to have questions. It's a process. By the way, the greatest thing Dan Hawkins ever says, this ain't intramurals, brother. That's one of the funniest lines ever. Smitty, you got to look up Dan Hawkins soundbite.
Okay.
It's one of the funniest things ever because he basically told a parent, shut up. Either you want to do this or you got to just look up Dan Hawkins soundbite, and the kicker is, this ain't intramurals, brother.
I'm going to add to my list. I'm going to have to check it out.
Anyway, guys, I'll see you on Thursday.
Stay with you Thursday. All right, brother.
Yeah, real quick, because I didn't get my take. My one little thing I'll add to it, and I love what you guys said, too. I just wonder if Shedeur's personality, confidence, swagger, even, I could see that coming off the wrong way to certain coaches, maybe, who are not maybe used to that. You know, they might take that as being cocky and brash and this and that and the third, because he is somebody he's Deion's kid. And I say that because, I mean, we know how Deion is and was as
Let me ask you this on top of that.
Yep.
Is it magnified, though, because he didn't throw?
Nah.
I think so, because it's even more brash now, right? To your point. Like, if you're a guy that thinks he's already arrogant and cocky, let's just say circles in the NFL think that.
Right.
And then you don't throw, but yet you're out here walking around like my point yesterday, looking cool, like you've been playing 20 years. It probably magnifies that point. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm saying that probably even magnifies it more because he's out here walking around and not throwing. That's the only thing I'm saying. I like cocky quarterbacks. I want a little swag in them. I do. But also I know I want
we're all
to rein it
super
in.
confident. Like when I played, man, you couldn't tell me shit when I was playing. I don't put whoever in front of me. Like
rein it in though. You got to be able to rein it in to be controllable. In effect, and I don't say he's not, but here's the issue I want to see. I want to see him be coached by someone other than his father for the first time in 5 years. That's all I'm saying. And that is why I wanted to see him throw. That's the only thing. Because to Alan's point here, who played for me, you're going to have different cats around you in camp and on your team, etc. And I get you have OTAs. I get you have the time. I'm just saying,
me, Alan, that's different.
See, but that's why I want to see you being comfortable, being uncomfortable now. That's the only reason I'm saying. That's why Kurt Warner said it. That's why other guys said it. I just want to see you throw right on the spot. Smitty, sometimes you got to be thrown on the spot. What if Shedeur comes in as a backup? Let's just say he backs up somebody that's a veteran. He gets drafted by a team that sits him to learn a year, right?
Yeah.
And that guy gets hurt. He's got to fucking go in right now. Hold the clipboard.
Hand off, screen.
Nah, that's not what you got
to get him warmed up.
Then why we draft? Then why did I draft the running back?
It's different.
Nah, then why did I draft the running back?
He ain't coming out first place throwing a Hail Mary.
I'm just saying.
I
And
feel
DMV,
what y'all saying on serious note. I feel you. I just don't think it's that important.
Here's the issue. And to talk about Cam Ward, he's the same way. He's just not as covered as Cam Ward is the same way, in my opinion. He's just not as covered because he don't have a dad.
Cam might be more cocky than Shedeur. We've seen the clips of him talking trash
to each other. He don't have a dad that has a name Deion Sanders. That's number one. Shedeur's going to always have more
attention.
He's going to get it. He's just going to get it because his dad just not, you know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. There's no difference in the two. They both didn't throw. DMV, I don't know if you knew that. It's not fucking breaking news. I don't know why you keep asking me. We've already talked about Cam Ward not throwing. I'm just saying that it's not as newsworthy as Shedeur not throwing because of who his dad is, homie. We already talked about it. I'm the one that brought up Cam Ward, motherfucker. I'm the one that had his daddy mad at me. Fuck you talking about? Holy shit. DMV, are you Cam Ward's agent, motherfucker?
DMV should call in one day and just debate you for 5 minutes.
DMV, are you Shedeur's agent, motherfucker? God damn. Hey, Smitty, let's take a piss break. Come back last 45 minutes and talk. Huh?
Like, keep going?
A what break?
Yeah, I'm taking a 5-minute break. Keep going real quick.
We got a lot to discuss on the other side. We'll be back in 4.
Savannah Bananas baseball team that does like the dancing, the Savannah Bananas baseball team that does all the dancing. Coach JB, just react to this, man, and kind of give your take on why so many people watch this. They're one of the more popular, sports teams. They're almost like the Harlem Globetrotters for baseball is how I would compare it. And very popular. People love them. They literally sell out crowds, make a lot of money. A lot of these guys actually played, I think, baseball at some point for real, like maybe in college or whatever. Now they kind of do this thing for fun. But what's your take? Why do you think so many people actually like him? Hey, baby. Good morning.
Go back to his name. Rewind. Go back. Rewind it. Right there. Pause it. Go back to his name, Bailey. Let me see his last name. Let me see that right there. That's why. Because he sucks cocks. Because he's a gay. This is gay. Suck cocks. That's why. He has the perfect last name. The fuck are we doing here, homie?
You a homophobe, homie.
The fuck are we doing? God damn. Oh, hell no. You fucking shitting me. You would not go see this fucking in real life. Stop the cat. Tell me right now, truth or lie. Would you go see this?
I don't watch baseball like that.
You wouldn't go see. Just keep it. Smitty's so good at this media shit. Like, you all talk that shit, and he always wants to fluff me. Fluff me. He's good at this, homie. He knows how to be so mainstream corporate. I can't wait to get him out of there. I gotta be honest. I can't wait to get him out and
I still ain't gonna be you. That's what makes our show great, though, in my opinion. If we were the exact same,
you'll be a little different. Like, you might have just been like, nah, JV, that's a little too gay for me. Like, you might have said that. You might say that one day.
You're
like,
crazy, man.
Like how Smitty said, like, yeah, I don't like baseball like that. Like, he skipped over the mirrors and the cocks and all that shit. He skipped over all that shit.
I'm a bad boy, homie. I'm a bad boy, homie.
You know how to do it. Like, you know how to play the game.
The chat, like, they so micro, like, thinkers. They're so simple-minded that they don't even catch all the little shit I be doing.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no. I'm so good in advance in this space because I have the it factor again because I don't have to watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who has spoke to every single NCAA college football 2025 team seemingly on the internet. From Last Chance U, national champion, Coach JB.
Yeah, Coach!
What's up, gentlemen?
Coach, just great car, great stick. Thank you for pulling off to the side of the road. Hope you don't get killed here. Honestly, side of the road, LA, I assume that's not necessarily the safest place on earth. So we'll make this quick. How do you feel about all of these new coaches now in this NCAA college football 2025 game using your speeches to motivate these boys from one side of the country to the other, Coach?
I feel broke.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Can I get like a royalty or something? Like, Netflix already screwed me. I'm getting screwed by EA Sports now too? Like, holy shit. I hit him up. I reached out to him like, hey, trying to be cordial and nice. I'm a nice guy, you know me.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, EA Sports, maybe I can actually be your video guy than to actual do a real video instead of using my name, image, and likeness.
Oh, shit.
And maybe I can get a little piece of the pie, but nah, it's all right. Just keep sharing my 500 million views of it.
I don't mean to laugh at you, but obviously you are a hilarious, miserable person, and this is kind of is how it goes.
Pat, I was actually chilling. My back went out yesterday, so I didn't even do my show today. So I just left my chiropractor, and I'm waiting on this damn cigar company to open. They're late, of course. I mean, come on.
Shit. Okay, so life is good. Last question for me, because I know the last time we talked to you, you had not watched the Netflix series Last Chance U. You said that. You said, I've not watched it, but obviously you've heard from everybody. Now, do you see some clips that come across your way? You're like, I don't remember saying that. And then all of a sudden, oh, I killed that. And do you judge your clips whenever you see them? You're like, I murdered that one.
Nah. A broad came over to the house the other day, and I didn't really want to watch Netflix with her and chill. But she wanted to watch the show. We watched one episode.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't watch this.
Okay.
And she was like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. It was the first scene of the cow scene or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, they only made about $4 billion off my name on this shit. I'm not watching Netflix either. So I'm spiteful right now, Pat. I don't want to watch Netflix. I don't want to watch EA Sports video game. I'm like, man, and I can't even get 40,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Well, you're going to the moon. We appreciate the hell out of you, Coach. Hopefully it'll get figured out, and we know the Netflix and chill thing, what that leads to. Bad backs, chiropractors. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach JB.
Yeah, Coach.
Yeah. Man, I'm sad for my boy Kyrie, man. I'm not going to lie. He's just one of the most skilled players we've ever seen. And an ACL injury at this late in your career can just be detrimental to you. I just saw the clip again, man. I saw Kyrie take a deep breath at the free throw line, and he said, thank you, God. In the midst of it all, right before he shot, said, thank you, God. I just felt that. I just felt that right there, man. So hope he can recover and come back the same dog that he was, man. But this ACL injuries can throw you off.
Does he retire?
Hell no. He a dog. He ain't retiring like that. He crazy as hell. And he's like 34, 33.
He mentioned it before. Remember, he mentioned it.
That was a whole nother. That was different. He was going through different stuff at that point in time. But we here, man. Got a few more minutes left before I head up out of here. I got stuff to do. Listen, y'all. We got to go back to NFL.
Hey, what?
Huh?
Let me give a shout out real quick. I do a national show now on Rumble with Shaun Salisbury, and yesterday's was the premiere show. 70,000 views, man. Appreciate it for all you Rumble fans out there. Yeah, 70,000. And I'm getting the data from the production team right now. We outperformed the Dan Patrick Show, Dan Le Batard, and the Rich Eisen Show. In one day. Yeah, Dan Le Batard had 33,000. Rich Eisen had 31,000, and the Dan Patrick Show had 56,000. We had 70,000.
70,000?
Yeah.
Sheesh. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all booming there. Off the
first it's a premiere show though. It's on Rumble's front page, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave Shaun an exclusive deal. So yeah. So hey, we're on every day at noon on the Pacific, on the West Coast, 3 p.m. on the East Coast. You'll see Shaun and I again after this show later on today. So
shout out.
Gore said Bailey's a better producer than the guy on the Salisbury show. Shout out to Triple E, man, producer for Shaun Salisbury, young brother, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What?
I like that. Just giving brothers opportunities, man, that we've earned. Skill. We got so many of these talented brothers, man, and in the business, in the industry, and for so long we just couldn't get our foot in the door. And I'm just seeing us more slowly but surely just get the opportunities. And I just love to see it, man. Shout out to what's his name, Triple E. Shout out to Triple E, man.
Yeah, I told Shaun he should hire a white producer on the show yesterday live, but
and the views will go down tremendously. Cut in half, 35,000. Just like that, homie. Anyway, let's talk about NFL, man. Some other news. Been a lot going on. Seems like lately the Eagles are releasing 6-time Pro Bowl corner Darius Slay. If he is designated a post-1 June 1st release, the Eagles will save $4.3 million against the cap. The Eagles are also releasing veteran DB James Bradbury, a source says. And he will be designated as a post-June 1st release as well. So it's like they're, kind of out with the old, in with the new, so to speak. They got some young cats they got from the draft who balled out in this past year. I believe Darius Slay, if I'm not mistaken, has either made some comments publicly or loosely kind of talked about retiring after this next season. So real interested to see where he goes for his potential last season of his career. Still, regardless, that's an Eagles legend right there. You know what I'm saying? Super Bowl champion, veteran on that team. And this is just part of the business, Can't pay everybody. You find a way to pay the guys that you need, though, for sure. You always find a way. So,
yeah. There's rumors out there circulating he was kind of a shitbird. There was other things saying he was getting up there in age, as Smitty alluded to. There was a little bit of controversy on him. And then he's already hit the Twitter streets talking about the Rams as a destination spot. And that was the toughest team they played. They thought that, that game could have went either way. He actually commented and said that. I think he's just getting older, to be honest with you. When you're younger, and Howie Roseman can find guys in the draft for young and cheap. That is what it is. Multi-time Pro Bowler. He served his purpose for the Eagles getting that Super Bowl. And now it's a business, like Smitty said, that now they're going to feed you to the wolves, dog. Now they're going to see what other teams want to grab you. So we'll see. I'm sure somebody will take them. I told Bailey yesterday on our show, Slap Nation, that's Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I could see him playing for Pete Carroll and the Raiders for at least a year. Long arm, long corner. Pete Carroll loves long corners. Richard Sherman, all the guys that he's had from his SC days to the Seahawks days. He loves long corners. He drafted a D2 kid because he was 6'3.5", who had a great rookie, and he's baller in Seattle. He's done all these things. I forgot his name, but had a hell of a corner at USC that was 6'3", right here out of Colton High School. That he likes long guys. He likes long corners, and there's a reason for it. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets if he's a fit in Vegas.
We shall see, man. In other news, Chad Ocho Cinco was on the other network, and he had a comment on one of their shows, man. Check this out.
The two most difficult things in life are hitting the baseball and keeping a woman happy long term. The two most difficult things in life. You hear me? Very. So the fact that
you heard what he said, JB, man. Let me ask you this. Do you agree the two most difficult things in life are hitting the baseball and keeping a woman happy long term? Do you agree or disagree? Is that a fact or cap right there?
Fact.
Explain why, homie. Break it down. From your experiences, things you've been through in your life, past relationships, like give us a full, detailed, high, macro level, educated answer of why that's a fact.
Because that's why I'm single.
There it is. You couldn't have said that any better.
Shout out to the cats in here that went to Colton High School. By the way, you guys are all mentioning those three. They had 3 NFL guys, actually 4. Alan Bradford, Jimmy Smith, all-time great, Raven corner who played wide receiver at Colorado. But you guys are forgetting I recruited all those guys because a few of them were close to not making it to USC and Colorado because I got the quarterback who was the best player on that team. Make no mistake about it. Brad Sorensen was the quarterback on that team. Daniel Sorensen was a younger kid on that team who was a Super Bowl champ with the Kansas City Chiefs, by the way. Just giving you guys a little bit of context into Colton High School. By the way, shout out to Coach who passed away. The head coach at Colton High at that time has passed away. Great dude, man. Funny dude, man. Coach Strauss was the head coach there. A good friend of mine passed away. So anyway.
Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. You know what? I disagree with Chad Josigo's statement, though. Keeping a woman happy is tough. It is a challenge. I'm not gonna come over here and sugarcoat it and lie. You gotta, find new ways. The longer you're together, the more creative you gotta be, and the more, I guess, thoughtful you gotta be to try to put her needs and wants first, and try to, continue to do that. But again, I always say this: if you find the right one, then it's something that can be sustainable. And if you get together for the right reasons, then it's something that can be sustainable. But if you get together for just physical purposes or because the sex was good or some reasons that just not truly important in the big picture of things, then yeah, you'll run into these issues pretty quickly and you won't be able to maintain the happiness because y'all never got together on a good foundation.
You can't please a woman.
It's the house can be built good.
It's impossible to please a woman. It's just impossible. So stop the cap. It's impossible to please a woman, period. You don't have enough pipe to please them. They put out babies this big. You don't have a head that big. You're never going to please her on that end. number one, regardless of what they tell you, you think they make you feel good. Just keep it funky. They'll tell a small dick motherfucker he's giving it to her. Stop. The next day though, she's on the prowl looking for another one. This is what it is. It's the truth. You can't please a woman. Stop. If you give her all the money in all the world and you don't have the dick, she's gonna seek dick on the side. You can't please a woman. If you give her all the dick in the world, you don't have the money, she's going to go get the bag from another guy.
If you got both.
Then she's going to seek bored. She's bored because her homegirls are in her ear telling her, man, he don't treat you right. He got money and dick, but he ain't treating you right. So I'm just telling you, you're never going to please him, homie. And shout out to all the women. You ain't going to fucking please you. We can't please you. We just can't. So, it is what it is.
Do you think every woman is unhappy in the world?
Yeah.
Do you think every woman is cheating?
Yeah.
Do you think every woman is unsatisfied with their lives?
Yes.
Do you think every woman shouldn't coach football?
Yes, or ref.
Do you think every woman should just be in the kitchen cooking for men all day?
Yeah, shout out to Harrison Buckner.
There it is.
DMV been married 30 years. DMV said he's been married 30 years. Women are never satisfied.
Oh, hold on. Now, time the fuck out. So now DMV, now y'all locked in. Now y'all best friends.
No, we're not. I'm just telling you.
Now DMV, now his word is Bible.
Hold on.
Now his word is the Bible. But a few minutes ago,
this is a great segue. Great segue. Because here's the problem.
You crazy as hell.
I keep it funky. Don't matter who says the truth if it's the truth. Don't I say that all the time?
Sometimes you say it.
So I don't give a fuck if DMV far left liberal fucking Biden Kamala lover. He's right. He's right. And if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. He's wrong, I'm wrong. The truth is the truth no matter who says it. He just said the truth. So I have to say yes, DMV. And by the way, he has more experience in this space than me. He's been married 30 years. I've never been married 1 year.
Yeah. And you ain't been in a relationship since when?
96.
Exactly. So when it comes to relationships and what women do, what they won't do, I think you should just kind of lean on your co-host's experience and listen to what I say, or the fans in the chat. You don't know nothing about a relationship. You selfish, homie. You only care about yourself. You don't know what it takes to sustain a relationship or to keep a woman happy. So you stay out of it.
You're forgetting that though. Nor do I want to know and work on it. I don't want to work on it. Do you imagine me trying to work on it? You imagine me sitting here trying to appease abroad when I could be on the yacht, smoking a stick, sipping some yak, doing 30 shows?
Life is more than a yacht and some liquor, homie.
Shout out to you for saying all this shit. I'm not going to agree. It's still not fucking steel mill or a fucking coal miner job. It's not that hard. But I'm gonna be serious. Yesterday, I did this show. I did Smith, and then Bailey and I did the LA show. Then I had a fucking production meeting with fucking Rumble and Shaun Salisbury. Did that show for an hour and a half. Then I had a fucking meeting with attorney. Then I had a fucking meeting with Tom Brady folks for us. I'll tell you about that. Yesterday was a tall task. I'm gonna be honest. That was just all kind of shows and shit.
Welcome to my life, homie. You had 1 day of my life.
Then all the smoke, and then shit. No, you don't do 1,000 shows though. You just go do this show, and then you go work on a show. You don't go on 30 shows.
I be having all types of meetings every day for the players company that you don't know. I don't tell you everything I do, homie. I do a lot of stuff, homie. I freelance with one job. I got more than one job, homie. I don't just go
out of my life for 40 years,
homie.
Waiting for, just welcome to my life for the last 40 years, though. Now I'm on retirement. That's my retirement, homie.
You live a good life, homie. Like, your life is my goal. Like, you rich. You got a yacht. You buy new cars whenever you want to, and you sit around the house all day and smoke and drink, and you fuck hoes. That's like, you live the life, homie. Like, everybody want that life. That's just an easy life. You got 19 TVs in your fucking house. You got a movie theater, a fucking poker room with the cigar. You got the real cigar lounge. Like, You got humidifiers and shit to where the smoke can go in there properly. You got dog holes where your dog can go in the house, out the house. Big ass backyard. You got a pool getting built. You got a Picasso at your house. You got a damn golf course on the side, on one side. You got a full basketball court with the Lakers emblem on the ground on the other side. You got 4 cars. Like, homie, you live beautiful. Where you live at is beautiful all the time. The sun's always out. You got fucking mist come out your backyard, out the back. That's the biggest thing I've seen. You got the mist thing, Majiggy. Every time it get a little hot, it's like it's AI. It knows when you're hot. You got the fireplace when it get cold. You got the damn hot tub jacuzzi. You got a fence. You got a big ass hill in the back of your yard where the dogs can go play. You got I saw a reindeer one day and I came over to your house. Homie, you live a great life. I'm telling you, the life you live is the goal. Like, your life is like the end goal. Once I get to that level, I'm good. I'm chilling.
That's not good enough for me. Not good enough for me though.
Because you'll never be satisfied. You're like a woman.
I'm not. I'm never satisfied. And I'm like a who?
You just said it, homie. You said you can never make a woman happy.
No. Say it. You said it. I'm like a woman.
Say your point, though.
So did I not prove my point?
It was a joke, homie. You didn't even catch the joke.
Nah. You're right. You know it's true. You know it's true. Your PC mindset just won't let you say the truth. You just said the truth and you didn't realize it. You're like a woman. And then, shit.
Micro thinker. He can't catch my jokes. He's a micro thinker. He can't catch my jokes. JB's a micro thinker. As Mike Cutter's making a song on Twitter. JB's a micro thinker. He can't catch my jokes. JB's a... That's a hit. I can sing, I can rap, I can dance, I can argue, I can debate, I can go to work, I can social media, I can fucking act. What can I do? Let me stop talking for somebody in the chat says I'm acting too brash. Anyway,
hey, let me ask. I've been doing cooking. I've been doing some cooking videos. Shout out to Paris for cutting them up for me.
Paris been doing her thing.
I've been doing a lot of videos lately for cooking. Anyone have anything you want to see cooked? Because I can do it all. Short, fat, skinny, tall.
Can you make some quesadillas?
Yeah, easy. Fuck, I make the best quesadilla you've ever had in your life, and that's real shit. I'm not lying to you. I make a chicken quesadilla. I make a straight cheese quesadilla. I make with butter and oil.
Oh shit!
On the flat grill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying I can do whatever though, but I'm saying it's easy. Yeah.
Make a chicken.
I'm thinking about making a tomahawk steak on the flat grill tonight.
With the bone in that motherfucker like that? 28?
Yeah, big ass tomahawk. Yeah, I'm gonna do it the butter garlic. I'm gonna throw the butter garlic on that hot flat grill with that fucking tomahawk, and then I'm gonna fucking season it up. I'm gonna graze it. Whoa, what? Just wait. I'm thinking about doing a tomahawk on the fucking flat grill. I haven't done it, and guess what I'm gonna marinate it in?
What, homie?
Milk.
2% or whole?
Whole. Have you heard about it?
Motherfucker gonna be creamy as hell, homie.
Have you heard about it?
Nope.
Man, I just got hip to it. Marinating a tomahawk in milk, butter and garlic, a little oil. Sit it in a bag. You put it in a big old bag. You put it in the fridge. Take it out. Then you fucking season that bitch. And then flat grill it. Then you take it off that flat grill after I flip it both sides, about 6 minutes aside, take it off, throw it in the oven, and baste it with butter and garlic in the oven on a flat skillet, hard metal skillet, in the oven for another 11 minutes until you want it medium rare, however you want it.
Medium well.
Don't overcook a tomahawk steak, black person.
Medium well, I'm good.
No, homie, you're wasting it. Fuck!
Medium well. Hold on, Whitlock put me on that. Medium well.
I had a sister over, and she wanted it well done. I fucking threw her out, homie.
Funny story. I first came to LA. It's before I knew I had a job or anything. I was visiting. This is 2016. This was Sheldon's draft year. He was training out in like Orange County, like Athletes First or whatever. You know where they're at. We came to LA for like a day. Whitlock was out here and he wanted to take us out to dinner. So all right, bet. So we came out to dinner. It's 2016, before I knew about Fox, anything. Went to dinner. Went to a steakhouse. I'm still in the hood in India, so I'm still in the trenches. Just graduated, trying to figure out life. So we're at the steakhouse, and they asked like, "How was my steak?" I was like, "Yeah, well done." And Will like heard me. He was like, "Hell no, hold on." He said, "Bring out the steak, make it medium well, slice it up in strips. We want the bottle." Like he just took over the whole order and ordered everything. And from there, I'm like, "Oh, so this is how you supposed to order steak, medium." Because I'm from the hood. Everything's well done, cooked, no blood, none of that. So that's my first experience of like tapping into the space of like how you supposed to eat. So my point is, rich people do eat steaks medium well, and it's acceptable. Some places when they make it medium well, it's really medium when they come out. So it's okay.
Whitlock, what is Whitlock?
A rich right-winged analyst.
A brother. At the end of the day, he's a brother. Y'all like shit well done, homie. You can't go and have a steak for your first time from another brother. And I told Whitlock this. He set you up for failure, homie. He set a brother up.
You told him this. Like, you already knew the story. You told him this already. All right, got you.
Yeah. I told him, you're not going to get me to waste $100 on a tomahawk steak that I get that's a 4.5-pound tomahawk steak, and then you're going to overcook it. I will kick you out of my house. So here's what the broad said was, can you put it back on the oven? I said, no. I can open the door for you. And she said, what do you mean? It's too medium. It's too red. I said, it's supposed to be pink, girl. This is what a steak is. This is how you eat a steak. I mean, I was the same way. I was cooked. Everything was cooked for me when I was young in the hood in Compton, Louis. No, I found out later, you don't overcook a piece of meat like that.
It's not overcook if it's medium well. It just cooked to perfection, homie.
Medium well overcooked.
I be thinking y'all savages. I'm not gonna lie. And I think y'all savages sometimes. The way y'all eat, y'all want to eat to where y'all get done, it's fucking blood dripping down your chin and your neck, like you just got done eating a girl out on her period. Like y'all just want blood. All it. That's sickening, homie. Like it gotta be a balance. It can't be that bloody. Y'all want it bloody. One blood. Y'all want it bloody. At some point, homie, it gotta be a little cooked. Medium.
But you don't eat bloody pussy though. And talking to me.
I won't eat it, but I'll.
Yeah, but you'll eat. So you'll get bloody dick, but mad at me because I got a little blood on the steak. Make it make sense, homie. The fucking hypocrisy on this show is unbelievable.
The rules for your mouth ain't the same for the rules for your south.
Huh?
The rules for your mouth ain't the same for the rules for your south.
Yeah, it is.
Because you told me you were like a fat, ugly man give you head. And not okay, but you wouldn't kiss her that same girl in her mouth. Make it make sense, homie. Make it make sense, homie. Mic drop. Next topic. I just killed his ass. Next topic.
I don't ever kiss though.
Next topic, homie. All right, man. So I don't know if you saw this, but
in the world, I'm not kissing her. Because the baddest bitch in the world is actually the dirtiest mouth bitch. So if you want to think about it, if you want to talk about it.
my mom used to tell me to put on two rubbers. She said, "Well, look good on the outside, I mean, good on the inside, son." I said, "Yes, ma'am." All right, next up. Boston Radio Cat says that he was jealous about how he leveraged garbage YouTube views into a lucrative TV deal when referring to Pat McAfee. Look at this right here, man. Let's name Josh Pate. I'm going to say the guy who put the tweet out at least. Boston Radio Guy. This thinking is still prevalent in the corporate media. They delegitimize YouTube and podcast audiences because of many of their shows and times would evaporate if they had to compete out there. That's a good point, man. I don't see why there has to be so much hate. Like, there's room for the linear side. When I say linear, y'all mean TV side.
So wait, you understand all this? So you get all this? Because I'm still lost. Me and Bailey disagree on this tweet. We do not agree on this thing because we don't.
Pop in real quick so I can hear y'all disagreement.
Because I don't know if we understand this tweet. I really don't.
Okay.
Bailey, what's the disagreement,
Bailey?
Bailey?
Not agreed to about it. I mean,
I think it's kind of. I think they're saying that McAfee used his YouTube, his digital views, social media, YouTube, the podcast. He used all those views and to lean into getting a big time TV deal. Which, yeah, I think that played a role in it happening. But there's not a problem with that.
Okay, so who said that?
Some Boston radio guy.
All right. Then Josh Pate said
he reported it.
That's what he said.
He reported it. Yeah.
No, he didn't report it. See? Because I don't have the fucking thing badge here. He didn't report. Josh Pate didn't report it, homie. The Boston dude reported it, according to you and Matt.
Josh Pate posted it saying, just calling out how people within radio, I guess, are delegitimizing YouTube and podcast audiences. If they had to do a YouTube podcast, how they would do is basically, from what I understand, what he's calling out. And then your guy, Zach Smith, responded saying this to Josh Pate. So I think
I could agree. I think this is a fact.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Do you know any history? I'll bring Zach on if I need to right now. Do you know any history about Zach and Pat?
No.
So Pat has Zach blocked. They don't get along at all. So I'm trying to figure out. Zach agrees with Josh. Josh, I guess, is agreeing with the Boston guy. So they're all against Pat.
No. Josh is against the Boston guy putting out this tweet. And then Zach is agreeing with Josh.
That's where we disagree, homie. No, he's
How
not.
would he not be?
Bad money.
No, he's not.
How is he again? Okay, JB, explain it.
Because Zach Smith would not agree with it if it was with him. I'm telling you all, homie. Zach Smith would not say this to Josh Pate if Josh Pate did not agree. I'm just telling y'all.
I think that Josh Pate, I think, is
him and Josh are tight. Zach and Josh are cool.
That's fine. And so I think
Zach and Pat are not cool. Zach and Pat aren't cool.
So Josh Pate and Zach Smith both have prominent YouTube shows. And so I think they're both agreeing to the Boston radio guy, or both disagreeing with the Boston radio guy who said that about Pat. Pat, Zach, and Josh Pate are all in the same space here.
Yes.
So that's
exactly.
That's what
see, I'm taking it totally different.
I'm
taking
taking
it
right now from on speaker. I guarantee me and Billy are right. I guarantee you're right.
I'm taking it as they're hating.
Why would they hate when they literally have prominent YouTube shows?
They got the same.
Because they're talking about Pat. They're talking about Pat.
But I don't understand. Okay, so what's different from Pat and Josh Pate?
Huh?
So what's different from Pat and him coming up in YouTube than Josh Pate? That's my
question.
Let
me explain where I'm here. Smitty, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm looking at this as they're saying that Pat blew up to such a big level now that these guys can't, because they're going through the more organic, traditional manner. And Pat blew up by taking these, apparently to this Boston guy, garbage views and turned it into a lucrative deal. And now ESPN, all these things have it. That's how I'm reading it, dog. I'm just telling you because I know these two history. Zach would not agree to this. He's agreeing to it as, this is why Pat blew up. See what I'm saying?
I'm telling y'all. No, but that doesn't make
sense.
Maybe I'm not explaining it right. Maybe I'm not explaining it right, but I guarantee you I know I'm right. Just telling you. I might not be explaining what I'm saying, Smitty. I don't know if I can explain it.
Let me read it
again.
I
know that these two, Smitty, please do it. These two up top do not like Pat.
Okay.
So
Zach would not agree, is what I'm saying. Zach would not agree with Josh and the Boston guy about.
They're not agreeing with the Boston guy. I think the Boston guy is poking shots at something that all three, Zach Smith, Josh Pate, and Pat McAfee, have in common, which is coming up off of YouTube, and us for that matter. So I really disagree with the Boston radio guy. I challenge the Boston radio guy to actually do a YouTube podcast if the so-called garbage views, because I know Pat McAfee blew up off this, and he's growing a YouTube channel just like we are. Same with Josh Pate and Zach Smith in their own respective shows.
Listen, I'm not on either side. All I'm telling you is these two, I'm telling you, are not. They're throwing some sort of shade at this thing. I just don't know how to dissect it. I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you, Smitty. Smitty, you're smart enough, Smitty. Smitty, you'll understand, Smitty, if you really read it and grasp this. Because I'm telling you, go right now and pull up Pat McAfee again. Does he not have Zach blocked?
I don't think that has anything to do with this, though. I'm gonna be.
It's kind of like what you said earlier, Jason, where you and DMV, you was like, I might not like DMV, but the truth is the truth. I think that's where Zach's coming from right now. Maybe he don't like Pat or whatever, but in this situation, he's like, yeah, this is actually true. Like, people are in the TV space are basically jealous and hating off the podcasters and people who are doing it off the original way, and they're not respecting those views, calling them garbage views, because it's not the way that they grew up in the industry and the business. This digital space is still somewhat new in terms of how people view content and sports content, and they're saying that they would never want to compete the TV side with the digital side because it would evaporate the TV side to a large extent, because some of these views on the digital side are completely destroying what people get on the TV side. And I think, to me, that's how I'm reading it.
And with respect to Josh Pate is a huge college football show on YouTube. Zach covers Ohio State and Menaces Sports on his deal. I think they're all on Pat's side from that perspective. I think we should be too. And again, with the Boston radio guy challenging, saying it's garbage YouTube views, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people in radio that have been in radio for a long time and don't probably understand it. Based on, from what I understand, working with Matt McChesney, who used to be in radio, now isn't in radio, there is a lot of pushback from those in radio who don't necessarily understand this, understand how YouTube works, how monetization works, and how to get viewership on there. So that's kind of my thing of it. I think they're all on Pat's side. I don't think the beef between Zach Smith and Pat McAfee really has anything to do with this particular topic.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree. Okay, let's move on. Smitty, you're wrong.
It's the end of the show, huh? Good show.
You're
Good
wrong.
job. Good job today, man. Good.
We're not in yet. We're not in yet.
That's Steve Kim, and I appreciate all the fans for coming in. And
we're not done. We're not done yet. We got 4 minutes. We got 4 minutes. We got 4 minutes.
You know, we're gonna down to our final topic. We call this segment the final hour, and the final minute. Excuse me, and the final four is what we called it. It's the final 4 minutes. We'll call it the final four. It is March Madness, so perfect timing. Final four. We'll dive to
we call it. Is that what we call it?
Yep, we call it the final four. So we got 2 topics to end on the final four.
We've been calling it that.
We've been calling it that. So we'll do 2 minutes for each topic, starting now. So number 1, here we go. A Bears fan in London spotted disrespect that I continue to take on this platform and this show is why the TV side continues to delegitimize the garbage views and comments that we get on this platform. I just told you we were going to the final four. 2 minutes for this topic, 2 minutes for the next topic. As soon as I begin to talk, I don't know if it was you or Bailey, because I was not looking, decide to play a video in the background. It's disrespectful.
Well, let's show this video.
It's disrespectful.
Let's show it and then get to Smitty's last 2 minutes.
I'm not talking no more. I'm just reacting to him.
Brought Zelensky into the Oval Office and fucking attacked him. And fuck you people who are celebrating that. Fuck you. Every one of you.
Oh my God.
Really, Smitty, read that tweet I made to the audio listeners.
There goes McDonald's sponsor. I had a rep from McDonald's watching our show today too. I'm sorry, Zach. Man, Lord Jesus,
Can you read it for the audio listeners?
I had an EVP watching the show to give us a McDonald's sponsor. So JB reacted to this video, this lady giving her opinion, and JB reacted and said, "F-U-B." He said, "F-U-B-I-T-C-H," and pop that zit on your mother effing forehead is what he said for all the audio listeners. So there's a lady here who didn't agree with the approach that our vice president had in the Oval Office to Ukraine President Zelensky. She gave her opinion on it, and JB is completely against it. So he let that be known by saying,
say what I said again.
He said, "U-B-I-T-C-H," and pop that zit on your mother effing forehead is what he said. So that's where we're at right now. We're just continuing to divide and just be separate, and we'll see how this benefits us in the long term. This is what I'm concerned about. This is what I'm concerned about all this. What I thought was going to happen, I'm slowly seeing signs of it happening. Just divisiveness, divide, continue. We'll see what happens, man. It's only March. It's only March, and the hate is. So we'll see what happens, man. I just pray for America, pray for all the kids. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in this space. And I just pray that we can start leading with love, man.
You know what I'm shocked about on this one? I'm shocked on this video. Hold on, homie. Real shit. That has to make Smitty laugh, homie. No bullshit, homie. What did Eddie Manyweather put on our tweet for audio listeners?
He said Trump 100. He ain't said nothing in 3 weeks, and out of nowhere he's pop up just Trump 100. Last time we saw Eddie, he was walking around Compton trying to stay alive, and he just put Trump 100. Nothing else.
Hey, Smitty, I'm surprised you aren't like this is WPS. Like this is WPS to its fullest.
Oh, it is. I agree. I didn't know this was this.
Baby, can you rewind it? I want to hear her voice, her tone, real quick. I gotta see the tone of this
the
white
Oval Office and fucking attacked him. And fuck you people who are celebrating that.
Carrot.
Fuck you. Every one of you.
Every one of you. That bitch is so coked out, homie. Like, this is the Karens, homie, of the world. This is DEI, by the way. FYI. She has a zit on her motherfucking forehead that if you popped it, it would feed Russia. I'm just saying, this bitch is full of meth, coke, crack, tweak, whatever you white people call it. This is what it is. And
white people, motherfucker, you white, homie. What the fuck you talking about?
But I don't do that meth. That's a white person shit.
That's your people.
Not my people. It's actually Indiana people because that's the number one meth city in America.
White people in Indiana. Yeah, white people in Indiana.
More white people in Indiana than black people.
Indiana, not Indianapolis, where I'm from, the city, Far East Side, Coast Road.
My worst fears are coming out on Twitter. It's still alleged. But Gene Hackman, man. Rest in peace to Gene Hackman, but rumors are out there. It is my worst fear. I said it on Shaun on Unpaved yesterday on Rumble with Shaun Salisbury. There's reports out there that he's one of the guys on the fucking Epstein list. I told you that's what I was fearing, man. They said no foul play. I gotta be real. If that was a brother, that was like Morgan Freeman or something. That shit would have been investigated on the spot. Fucking bam! This motherfucker been dead 2 weeks and no foul play.
Hold on, homie. You tell me if it was a brother, they would have solved the case faster? You fucking crazy.
No, I'm saying no, I'm not. I'm saying that shit would have been handled. That they would have been on top of it more. Is what I'm with y'all on this. I'm saying this dude's gotten 3 weeks of like no foul play. Blah blah blah. Morgan Freeman, there would have been. It was a murder. It was a fuck.
He was a secret drug dealer, and they got caught up in some shit.
These cats are mummified. They're mummified.
Spell that.
MUMMIFIED. They're mummified. They're mummified, homie.
Spell it, homie. Surprise.
They're mummified. That means they've been there for weeks. The dog's neck was broken in the closet. They're in 3 different rooms.
3?
3 rooms. He was in one room, she was in another, and the dog was in another. Here's the thing. If that ain't foul play, then I ain't from Compton. I've never seen a cat fall out dead here. And then the 60-year-old Melon bride, Asian bride that he married, she runs to see what happens, trips, falls, breaks her motherfucking neck in another room, and then the dog hears it, woof, woof, woof. He runs, bow, gets hit by a motherfucking door on accident, runs into the door, breaks his neck. Is that what happened? Is this motherfucking what's that movie, homie, where all the motherfuckers die all randomly?
What's that movie called? Final Destination.
Instinctual. Yeah.
Final Destination, when they just fucking doing regular shit, and just shit falling out the sky, roller coasters messing up, buildings
And then two dogs outside who are alive. There's no foul play.
Maybe the two dogs did everything.
No foul play.
Yeah. Once I saw that carbon monoxide wasn't a factor, I'm saying.
Like I said.
I'm like, yeah, but you said it early, cool. I just said, let's see it first. That's
Did I report? Did I not? So I wasn't a reporter in that instance.
Did you?
I broke news.
Did you guess?
I broke news. I broke the news.
But did you guess, or did you have information that backed that?
I didn't have the thing on, huh? I didn't have the deal. If I had a deal and I said that it wasn't carbon monoxide poisoning, then it would have been legit.
If you would have said per sources and had actual sources that gave you information, then you would.
Per sources, JB per source said there was no way that 3 people died just living in that sleep at night. Oh, baby, do you smell you get high off that shit? Fuck it, let's just die together. I mean, some people are seriously stupid as fuck. I was gonna be real. So, anyway, shout out to everybody.
Good show, man. Hell of a show, man. We did a lot today. We went political when I didn't want to. We went NFL. We went boxing, NBA. Had Steve Kim come on. Bailey popped in, cussed out some fans and people in the chat. We laughed at people in the chat. We got some super chat money, about $40, $50 is coming my way. Shout out to y'all. We had over, I think, 1,200 just on YouTube alone. The numbers continue to grow. Even in the off season, we couldn't do that without y'all. Make sure y'all continue to subscribe, become a member, join our Discord. The JB and I are starting to become more active in again. It's getting lit in there. We got the LA show at 10 o'clock with JB and Bailey. You got Unpaved with JB and Salisbury on Rumble. You got JB on All the Smoke on every other Monday with Matt Barr and Steven Jackson. You got JB anytime there's a big boxing match, doing like some live late night stuff as well. You got JB on the yacht, and you got your JB merch at the JB store as well, man. So do all that, subscribe to all that, buy all that, watch all that, and we appreciate y'all love and y'all support, man. Can't wait till tomorrow. Thanks, Lucy.
Lucy don't agree with you.
Appreciate you. Well, it's been quiet because we were gone, but me and JB we're back in it now. So we're about to relitify it. Come back in that thing, loose.
Anyway, man, we'll see you tomorrow. Work Boot Wednesday. And God bless everybody. God bless America. We were in the Discord, Chris, all weekend.
Yeah, Chris, I tagged you and asked for you, and you didn't say that.
I put dick pics and everything in there.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All of it. So,
huh?
I put my body in there. I picture my body in there flexing, Chris. You got to scroll up far as fuck. And Golf put a new sound in there, too. There's a lot going on. Go in the Discord. We popping.
We got the new song. It's not called Gawk anymore.
It's called, was it Walk, or it's Walk. Shout out to Walk.
Why you sound like her, kind of?
I don't sound nothing like her. It's Walk.
Sound like her. Anyway, all right.
I'm in the Discord right now.
Me too. All right, bet. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Work Boot Wednesday, man. Appreciate everybody. Pound that like, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.